Might involve 30 to 40 people in Eleanor's Cross at about 1:45am. Bedfordshire Police are urging anyone involved to come forward with information. The European Commission has called on the UK to raise taxes on higher value properties, build more houses and adjust the Help to Buy scheme. The Commission said council tax bans should be revalued. The recommendations come as part of wider advice aimed at helping all EU countries ensure long-term growth. £1.5 million is to be spent on a new car park at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital. Work is due to begin next Monday. The two-storey building should be finished by September. More from Gail Sanderson.
The new car park's designed to relieve pressure on residential streets around the hospital, where staff and patients end up parking if they can't find a space. It'll be built on the existing hospital staff car park next to the breast screening unit on Lucy Road. Most of the work should take place during the school holidays to try and minimise disruption, and the hospital will be using temporary car parks at nearby businesses and schools.
Tens of thousands of people have taken to the streets of cities across Spain to demand a vote on the future of the country's royal family. The demonstrations came after King Juan Carlos announced he will abdicate in favour of his son, Crown Prince Felipe. A play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds and based on the real-life experiences of victims. The play also tackles online grooming. In sport, Luton are set to sign Welling striker Ross Lafayette, according to his club, and Stevenage have transfer-listed striker Lucas Akins. The 25-year-old has been at the Lamex Stadium for 2 seasons. The weather, sunny intervals, but with scattered showers, which could be heavy and thundery. A maximum temperature 18 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
It's a town where people want to work together to make the best of what we have and to support each other.
And all this week, we're featuring Stony Stratford.
Got the Lice High Street, which is really local, so everything you need, really.
It's all about where you live.
It's a friendly place with so much going on, and it's attractive as well.
The big tour from BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. It's Tuesday. Who'd have thunk we'd make it? Oh, it's only Tuesday. Nuts. Lots coming up on the show, including Mum calls for her extremist son to be captured before he kills or is killed. Dramatic efforts to keep Hertfordshire school kids safe online. By dramatic, we mean a play. And how a walk in the park led to a big surprise in Rickmansworth.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This
Don't
is
worry.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
'Cause I'm about to sprinkle a little bit of moon dust over that show that doesn't sound so groovy.
It's actually a really good show.
No, it's a good show.
I just couldn't think of any good words.
We're all feeling a little bit blunt. I think blunt. Whoa, hey.
I'm feeling sharp.
Okay, Kath, blunt or
I
sharp?
went to bed really early, but I still feel like I could sleep a lot longer.
I went to bed early, but the boys last night were they were hard work. They wouldn't go to sleep. And then when they did, they woke up, and then I had to go and get them one by one and get them in bed with me, and they took up the whole bed. And the eldest gets in bed with me, we had a wee-wee race, as we often do.
Oh, what, in bed, or did you get out?
No, we got out, we went and had a wee-wee race. And
say it like that's normal.
Do you mean a race to the toilet?
No.
Or to see whose wee lasts the longest?
Well, I would like to go for... I would prefer to play who lasts the longest.
Like a marathon.
Yeah.
But
it's a sprint.
It'll be you.
It's a sprint.
No, if it's a sprint,
Unless
the kid's
he's
going to win.
holding it in.
Kid wins.
He's got a smaller bladder.
I beat you, Daddy. Oh, you little son. Anyway, so I had to sing to him in bed all last night. And then I think he was asleep. And he go, sing it again, Daddy.
Oh, he's got you, hasn't he?
And then the youngest woke up and I had to and he was coughing and I thought he was going to be sick and I think he was going to be sick down my back. Anyway.
What song was it that you sang?
Daydream Believer. So, anyway, my youngest last night sang to me the Monkeys theme.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my hang on a minute. I've got audio evidence of this. Hang on. It takes a while to work out what he's singing, but... Hang on.
Try for me and watch and play.
Is he English?
We're the young generation.
We got to say.
Hey, hey.
Hey, monkeys, sing around. We're too busy singing.
There you go. We're in.
Put it down.
And this is your eldest?
It's my wife.
Come watch and play.
Doesn't know the phrase young generation.
What's the tricky word?
We got to say.
What's I say?
He's kind of English.
It's a plaintive song, isn't it, the way he sings it?
But so, anyway, the point is I'm feeling blunt today.
Didn't that just cheer you up?
That made me miserable. Made me think my son can't speak properly.
Oh, he's only 2.
He's only 2.
Saying that, my 2-year-old speaks perfectly. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, she probably does it in French as well. Anyway, what you can't do, though, Catherine, is answer this simple riddle. Don't let her Google it, Kels, because I know you Googled it and cheated.
I don't think I need to Google it. I think I've thought about it.
You've Googled
it? Only in passing. No, I haven't Googled it, I promise. I promise.
Have you Googled it?
No, I haven't, I promise.
Do you know the answer?
I think I know almost all the answer.
OK, the question is, we're going to play a song and then we'll do it. We haven't even got time for the first story now. The question is, how can you construct a sentence with the word "and" in it consecutively 5 times?
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Is it from, like, a grammar book?
Sorry?
Is it an example, a grammatical example?
Well, it's a sentence.
So
I guess
and.
What?
Yes.
So is one of them in italics or something?
No, none of them are in italics. Aha!
Never been near a university. Never took a paper or a learning degree. And some of your friends think that's stupid of me, but it's nothing that I care about. Well, I don't know how to tell the weight of the sun and of mathematics, well, I want none. And I may be the man simpleton, but I know one thing, and that's I love you. When little Archie grows cold and I'm thinking it's done, you'll be warm in the arms of the man simpleton. I can't have been there when brains were handed round. Please be upstanding for the mayor simpleton, or get past the cover of your books profound. Please be upstanding for the mayor simpleton. Some of your friends think it's really unsound that you're even seen talking to me. Well, I don't know how to write a big hit song and on crossword puzzles, well, I just shut. And I may be the mayor simpleton, but I know one thing, and that's I love you. I'm not proud of the fact that I never learned much, just feel I should say what you get is all real, I can't put on an act. It takes brains to do that anyway. And I can't unravel riddles, problems and puns. I'm a home computer, has me on the run. And I may be the man of simpleton, but I know one thing, and that's I love you. Depth of feeling is a currency. Please be upstanding for the man simpleton. Then I'm the man who grew the money tree. No change of office and I won't be getting one. Some of your friends are too afraid to see that the paupers, and that's how they all stay. Well, I don't know how many mouths make up a ton of all the Nobel Prizes that I've never won. And I may be the mayor of simpleton, but I know one thing, and that's I love you. When all our cheap grows cold and I'm thinking it's done, you'll be warm in the arms of the mayor of simpleton. You'll be warm in the arms of the mayor of simpleton. You'll be warm in the arms of the
Happy National XTC Day, guys. How are you celebrating, huh? Oh, wait, 459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call about anything, including this story. A Buckinghamshire mother says she'd rather see her son in prison in Britain than dead fighting for Islamists abroad. Sally Evans from Woburn Green thought her son was studying Arabic in Egypt when she discovered he joined the terrorist group Al-Shabaab in Somalia. She called in the authorities. Catherine Boyle has been looking into this. Catherine, what do we know about her son?
Well, we spoke to Mrs Evans last night and she's clearly really upset by all the media attention she's received since speaking to a couple of national newspapers over the weekend. She didn't want to speak to us on air live this morning, but she told us that her son Thomas had been an average teenager until about the age of 16 when he left school and he split up with a long-term girlfriend. He was really upset by this and slipped into a depression and, in Sally's words, troublemaking. So at the age of 19, Thomas converted to Islam, adopting the name Abdul Hakim and exploring the more fundamental side of the religion at a small prayer centre. Sally says at this point he tried to convince her and his younger brother to become Muslims themselves.
And he was still living at home then, was he?
He was, but that changed, although not before a false start in February 2011 when anti-terrorism police reported that they blocked his attempt to fly to Kenya. A few months later, he went to Egypt, saying he was planning to study Arabic, but police later informed his mother he'd been trying to get through Egypt to get into Kenya again. In January 2012, Thomas called his mother himself and told her that he was now in Somalia, he was with Al-Shabaab, and he was prepared to die for his beliefs. He told her this was a goodbye phone call and said she would not see him again. She did hear from him, though. In August that year, he claimed he'd been shot in the leg and treated at a field hospital.
So what's been the reaction from his mother, Sally?
She's devastated, and to say she's taken aback by all the interest from the media recently is a massive understatement. As I say, she didn't want to talk to us on air, but she did talk to our reporter, Tony Fisher, and this is what she told him. She said, "I'm obviously very concerned about my son, like any mother would be. Thomas never told me he was going to Somalia, but instead said he was going to Egypt to study Arabic. It was not until January 2012 that he called me from Somalia to tell me he was with Al-Shabaab. I'm upset and heartbroken at his decision to leave me and his brother Michael in the interests of pursuing a warped ideology. But I still love Thomas very much."
It was only back in April, wasn't it, that a national campaign was launched urging women to inform on their male relatives who they suspected might be going abroad to become terrorists.
Yeah, and we covered it on this programme. The regional launch was held in Luton on the 24th of April, but it was happening up and down the country. The aim of this counter-terrorism campaign was to deter people from the UK travelling to Syria by encouraging women in their family, aunties, mothers, sisters, to speak up and reach out to other women who are concerned about young people in their families who may be planning to travel to Syria to fight. Bedfordshire Police say they want to increase people's confidence in them and their partners, to encourage people to come forward so that they can intervene before anyone is killed. A leaflet's been designed which outlines the risks of travelling to Syria, and it's being issued at ports across the country and to community groups across the 6 forces that make up the eastern region.
Well, a leaflet has been designed outlining the dangers of going to Syria?
The problem is that these young people think they're going to fight for freedom, and it's the ideology of youth, isn't it?
What's interesting
Idealism, rather.
is he's going off to do all of this, and she says, but I still love him very much.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
And I guess it's that thing, at what point, I've often thought about this, this is kind of the thinking I get when I can't sleep, at what point is there any point when you would disown your children and distance yourselves from their... Is there any behaviour your girls could do that would cause you as a mum to go, do you know what, I can't see that, I can't be a part of their lives anymore?
I think if my presence was making things worse, but I wouldn't stop loving them and I wouldn't stop hoping that they would turn it around.
What if they'd done a murder? What if they'd done a murder?
I'd see them through the consequences.
Really? Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? Because I think if one of my boys had done a murder, and it's more likely to be the younger of the two,
You reckon? He's 2 years old and you've already pinpointed him.
I can just tell. I don't know.
You'd still love them. They're not. They made a mistake. That's what you would hold on to, wouldn't it?
08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. On the A1M southbound at junction 6 for Welwyn, one lane is closed because some roadworks there overran, but they seem to be moving the cones out of the way now. Also got some roadworks in Wing on the Aylesbury Road. It's closed between Church Street and the Wing roundabout. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 6:16, it's Tuesday the 3rd of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who has joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. Police say a man stabbed in a mass brawl in Dunstable in the early hours of Saturday morning was extremely lucky. The 24-year-old needed surgery, but the weapon used did not cause serious injury. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds.
BBC Three Counties Radio. World War I at home on the BBC.
After we'd done all our donkey work, the army saw that we had made good.
Revealing untold stories.
The members of the society would welcome an opportunity of doing something to help the patient and faithful creatures whose lives were being sacrificed in the service of our country.
Discovering local memories.
I need not say again what my predecessors and I have felt as to the immense help you gave the government by allowing us to make trials in secret at Hatfield.
World War I at home.
He asked her to come and organise Rest Park to be turned into a convalescent home.
The torpedo got us in our forward magazine, thereby killing everyone forward.
World War I at home. Every morning this week from 8:15 on BBC.
Felt like this until I kissed you. How did I exist until I kissed you? Never had you on my mind. Now you're there all the time. Never knew what I missed till I kissed you. I kissed you. Oh yeah. Things have really changed since I kissed you. My life's not the same now that I kissed you. Oh yeah. You got a way about you. Now I can't live without you. Never knew what I missed till I kissed you. I kissed you. Oh yeah, you don't realize what you do to me, and I didn't realize what a kiss could be. You got a way about you, now I can't live without you. Never knew what I missed till I kissed you. I kissed you. Oh yeah, you don't realize what you do to me, and I didn't realize what a kiss could be. You got a way about you. Now I can't live without you. Never knew what I missed till I kissed you. I kissed you.
So, all of the songs are beginning with T today. I don't quite know why we're doing this.
What was that then?
Huh?
That sounded like it was called a kiss ja.
Till I kissed ya. Till I
That's
kissed
until
ya.
though, right?
No, it's apostrophe.
Oh,
What do they do that with songs? Why do they drop G's off the end of words in songs so many times? I hate saying the going down, you know, and other things. Why do they do that?
Stop saying it then.
I know, because they're still adding the apostrophe.
So you're not saving any time. You're saving the tiniest amount of ink. And now it's all computers anyway, so there's no ink involved.
They're swinging kids. That's why.
Swinging.
Yeah.
Jeez, it makes me want to puke.
Kids with a Z.
OK, thanks very much indeed. Now, listen, the internet full of dodgy characters, isn't it? Isn't it? You don't need to tell me, I'm an old man. But your son or daughter might need to be told, and they might even be at school with them. Chances are they have access to internet through their phone or their computer, and if they're anything like we were as teenagers, they're romantic fools. Which is why 12 to 15-year-olds in Hertfordshire are being warned about the dangers by a travelling theatre company. Stay with me on this, because we all remember those plays from school. Well, maybe this one will get a message through to them. I'm joined by Sean McGrath, who's the creator and director of Chelsea's Choice. Morning, Sean. Sean? Sean? We'll try and get Sean back. I don't know quite what happened there. He seems to have fallen off the edge of the stage, as we've all done at various points in our career, haven't we? I used to do plays in schools.
Were you invited to, or did you show
I just used to turn up. No, I did the thing of... I was an out-of-work actor.
Yeah.
So you would turn up and do plays. It's hard, tough crowds, man. Tough crowds.
I can imagine, because I remember being one of those kids and you'd think, right,
Yeah.
we've got the afternoon off.
We're going to
let's
have
enjoy
this lot. We're going to have this lot. We're getting Sean back, I think, which is... we're not getting Sean back, I don't think. We are getting Sean back. Just the shaking of the head indicated a no.
We've got Sean back.
No.
We can listen to Sean being got back.
You're listening to BBC Three Counties Radio, home of the hits.
Voicemail.
Oh, Sean, put your phone down. We're phoning you up. We want to talk to you.
So tell me about your time as a lion.
I was Androcles and the lion.
Right, you were the lion.
I think I was the lion. I don't really remember.
Did you have a full suit or just a mask?
I had a full suit. I think we've got Sean on the line. Morning, Sean.
Good morning.
Sean, I don't know what happened there, but we've got you back. You're the creator and director of Chelsea's Choice. Tell me about it. Why are you doing this?
Well, we first got commissioned to write the piece about 3 years ago by a local charity in Northampton where we're based. And since then the piece has toured to around 100,000 young people around the UK. And it basically raises awareness of child sexual exploitation as well as of other things. So it raises awareness of healthy relationships, safe internet use, the grooming process, and where people can go for help and advice.
And what this is based on a victim's experience, is it?
Yes. So there's a few true stories sort of woven into the piece, but the main story, the story of Chelsea in it, is based on the experiences of a young girl up in Northamptonshire and what happened to her. We changed all the names and everything.
Yes. And what kind of tips are you giving to the young people that are watching this play?
Oh, well, the main thing is to actually just show them the process that Chelsea is put through. So there's a perpetrator in it called Gary, who very systematically grooms her. And it's about showing the sort of the manipulation that she goes through and how complex that manipulation is to end up with her looking as if she has given consent to this thing, whereas in real fact she hasn't.
Is 12 to 15-year-olds, is that too late, do you think, to start getting this message out there?
It can be, yeah. It's really difficult. I mean, it's such a harsh message teaching to you. But Bernardo's, who sort of deal with this on a very, the main charities that deal with this in the UK, they've recognised that the most at-risk age group is between 15 and 11 years old, and it can happen older and it can happen younger. So as a preventative piece of education, trying to get kids to find out about this so they can avoid getting into that situation, but getting it in at around 11 or 12 is ideal, really.
And what can parents do in this? Are there certain things they should be looking out for?
Yes. I mean, one of the things we do, we try and show the place as many parents as we can as well. It's, the more people that understand how this thing works, the better. And what parents are looking out for is the warning signs. So it's looking for kids going missing from home, kids going missing from school, increased drug use, increased alcohol use, secretive use of mobile phones, secretive online use, older boyfriends, associating with a whole new group of friends, changing appearance, all that sort of thing. If they spot any more than one of those signs, then they need to be speaking to somebody.
Is that not just growing up, though? I remember a lot of those things you were listing were happening to not to me, but was happening to people when I was a teenager.
I mean, that's one of the problems. It's the same with a few sort of issues that young people can be affected. Yes, it can look exactly like the normal signs of growing up, but it's when they're slightly magnified or when more than one of them are happening together that you need to speak to someone and just check there's nothing else sort of going on.
Well, Sean, listen, I wish you the very best of luck with it. It's an important message that needs to be delivered, and hopefully your play, Chelsea's Choice, will get that message across. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Catherine, would you like to pick a song beginning with T? Pick a song, any song, as long as it's within the very limited framework of the songs we have on the computer system.
The Way It Is, that one that goes diddle-in, 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 that Talented Jonathan could play.
Oh, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, is that begin with a T?
Well,
Bruce Hornsby in the Range played, what was it called? The Way It Is? Is that what it's called? Or is it called de-loong, 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 which begins with a D?
just the way it is. Some things will never change. That's just the way it is. Ah, but don't you believe them? Said, hey, little boy, you can't go where the others go. You don't look like they do. Said, hey, old man, how can you stand to think that way? Did you really think about it before you made the rules? He said, so that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. That's just the way it is. Oh, but don't you believe them?
So you've got to build a sentence with the word "and" 5 consecutive times so that it makes complete grammatical sense. Now, Kelly Betts knows this only because she Googled it. You're the lexiconographer. Lexiconist.
Is that a word?
Yes, why not? You can't do it. You think you've got it.
I think it's a list. I think it's a list.
Well, do a list then. Do a list and make it work.
Is there a bit missing from the sentence, or is it just and?
You've got to have "and" 5 times in a row in the middle of a sentence.
You can't say and still make sense.
You can't say
and still make sense.
Utter rubbish.
Hey, no, it works.
It doesn't work.
News for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Borehamwood, the A1 southbound's already started queuing at Stirling Corner. On public transport, Southern have services delayed by up to 20 minutes between Milton Keynes and Clapham Junction. London Overground also got no trains running at the moment between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush because of overhead wire problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30, I'm Simon Oxley. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. Police say a man stabbed in a mass brawl in Dunstable in the early hours of Saturday morning was extremely lucky. The 24-year-old needed surgery, but the weapon used did not cause serious injury. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Luton are set to sign Welling striker Ross Lafayette. According to his club, Welling say they're disappointed at what they describe as a U-turn by the striker, who had agreed a new one-year deal. 27-year-old Lafayette scored 16 goals for Welling last season, including one against Luton on Easter Saturday. Stevenage have transfer-listed striker Lucas Akins. The 25-year-old has been at the Lamex Stadium for 2 seasons. Borough Chairman Phil Wallace says Akins wants to move despite being under contract. England midfielder Frank Lampard has confirmed he will leave Chelsea this summer after 13 years at Stamford Bridge. Lampard has 16 offers to consider, but won't make a decision until after the World Cup. Meanwhile, his England teammate Adam Lallana has told Southampton he wants to leave. Lallana has been linked with a move to Liverpool. Andy Murray's through to the quarter-finals of the French Open after beating Spain's Fernando Verdasco in straight sets. He'll play the Frenchman Gael Monfils in the last 8 tomorrow.
I've had good results here in the past, so, I think for me, the more experience I get on the surface, the more years I play on it, the more I'm going to learn and hopefully get better.
At the Hockey World Cup in Holland, England's men beat India 2-1 with a last-minute winner. Today, England's women take on China. Zoe Shipperley, who plays for Buckingham, is in the squad for the first time.
I'm still learning all about them. They're still trying to get to know me. So spending time with them was great. I mean, going away to Bremen, then even just going to San Diego in January or February, that was amazing, just to actually get to meet people and in a slightly social aspect as well as just actually on the pitch.
And England's cricketers play the 5th and deciding one-day international against Sri Lanka at Edgbaston. The day-night match starts at 2 o'clock. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Catherine's joined me in my studio. We're going to be looking at the
your
papers.
studio, is it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's yours and Kelly's, and this is mine.
Go on.
What's your beef?
Well...
Whose studio do you think it is?
It was mine before it was yours.
Yeah, that was a long, long time ago, and I think it's not Rob's. He rents it off me. And I think the fact that you're now sat in the middle of studio says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Apology accepted. Steve the Milkman!
Morning, Ian.
Can
you say you was a rent boy?
Sorry?
You say you was a rent boy?
You're going to put Kath out of her misery, and I don't mean shoot her in the head because she's got a broken leg. I don't mean that.
Wow.
What I mean is you're going to tell her how to construct a sentence with the word "and" 5 consecutive times, and for the sentence to make complete sense, aren't you?
I can do.
Away you go. Are you listening, Catherine?
Always.
Listen, well, I wanted a sign outside my house to say Stephen and Lisa, so I went to a sign writer and I said to him, can you put me a sign that says Stephen and Lisa? So he did it for me, but when it come back, he'd put Stephen and Lisa.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
That doesn't make sense.
It does make
Yes,
sense.
it does.
No.
But why would it say Stephen and Lisa anyway?
Because he's a silly sign writer.
No, you've got it wrong.
Why?
Well,
Come on, tell me why.
shall I tell you what it is? It's
Tell
to
me.
do with the sign, okay?
Yeah.
So I own a pub. I've not told you this.
Yeah,
I own
the
a
Pig and
pub.
Whistle.
Stephen's been there. I own the Pig and Whistle, okay? And recently, we had to get a new sign made for the Pig and Whistle.
Why?
The old one was weather-beaten.
Okay. That happens.
It does. And but to be honest, it'd been defaced by racists as well.
Right.
So, the sign writer made a new sign, Pig and Whistle, and he delivered it to me. And I said, no, Paul. His name was Paul. You've got this wrong. He said, what do you mean? I said, I've done Pig and Whistle. I said, no, it's to do with the gaps. The gaps are wrong. He said, what do you mean? I said, I'll tell you. The gap between pig and whistle, they're too big.
All right, got you.
Yeah?
Very good.
Yeah? Look at that little smirk on your face. I've taught you some... I'm busy learning Spanish and Portuguese, and I've taught you...
I wasn't very good at Portuguese.
I've taught you English. Steve, I accept your apology, mate.
I do apologise, Ian.
Thank you very much indeed.
Pleased with yourself, are you?
I'm very, very pleased with myself.
There have been literally minutes of elation at dinner parties over that little bit.
The elation at the dinner parties is nothing compared to the elation of watching you. And I know when you're a little bit narked because you rest your chin in between your thumb and your hand.
It's my I'm paying attention face.
Yeah.
To something dull. Anyway,
the gap between pig and whistle. It's just too big.
I think I was right.
When?
Because I said I think one of them should be in italics. And
none of those are in italics.
Whack one of those into slanty.
None of those are in...
Pig and whistle.
Well, you missed out on and. You only did 4.
Pig and. In fact, I put an extra one in.
No, you're not. You're counting pig and whistle as well on your thumbs. Don't count pig and whistle.
And whistle. Not counting the whistle.
Or the pig.
Or the pig.
What have you found? If you've got some
Talking of pigs.
words with fun with words, then call me now. Fun with words on a Tuesday. That's what we like to do here. What have you got in the papers?
Winnie the Pooh is named Best Loved Children's Book.
Is he?
No, but I never believed that. I never liked the Walt Disney ones, but I actually do love the... Have you read the actual books?
Yeah, we've got all of them. And I'll tell you what, no, they're not funny.
They are funny.
No, they're not.
I used to think he was an idiot, Winnie the Pooh. That orange one with a top on and no trousers. Idiot. But I like the
Tigger?
No. Winnie the Pooh has a red jumper on. And
does he? I
apparently
just don't think...
He needs to cover up the top half, but the bottom half's allowed to go free.
Well,
I never understood that.
Bears don't have privates, everyone knows that.
Well, then how'd you get all the bears?
Through honey jars.
Explains the attraction.
I just think he's not the most popular. He's just...
He should be.
Well, no, but you just said he was.
He is. He's not the most popular cartoon. Cartoon's rubbish and Americanised. The Winnie the Pooh A.A. Milne drew up brilliant.
Tigger's like the hop.
No!
Yeah, man.
Not that one.
Tigger's good.
A.A. Milne's 1926 classic Winnie the Pooh's been named the best loved children's book of the past 150 years.
Yeah, by boring people who've never read a Charlie and Lola book or Snail and the Whale.
Or Sing a Song of Bottoms.
Sing a Song of Bottoms or Norman the Slug with a Silly Shell.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
That's a good one, that.
Really?
He's a slug. He wants to play with the snails. And the snails say, jog on, Norman, you're a slug. You can't do... They're doing stunts. So he goes and gets a donut. I won't ruin it, but it's brilliant. A bird eats it.
The slugs do stunts in my garden. Boo! Over the fence!
I don't agree with this throwing slugs
I don't throw 'em, I flick 'em.
How can you even put it on your hand?
I put words in my hand.
Here's a question. You've been flicking slugs. Here's a question. Why are slugs slimy?
They need to be.
Pourquoi?
To slide along.
But where does the slime come from?
Inside.
But how do they generate the slime? These are serious questions I was being asked at 8 o'clock last night.
OK, just make stuff up then. If it's by a child, make some stuff up.
I just say I don't know.
You never admit that.
I say go and Google it. We'll look at it on YouTube tomorrow. Ask Nina and the neurons. That's kind of where
It's what they eat, probably. That they turn into slime to be able to move along.
OK.
They're one big foot, aren't they, a slug?
I don't think they are.
I think they are. I think that's the point of them. Are they not gastropods?
No, that's a restaurant with Heston Blumenthal, isn't it?
And an expensive steak and kidney puddings.
08459 455.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, you're still doing that? I was going to play a record. Go on.
Other titles make the top 10 list include Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I think that's overly complicated and druggy, but we did read it. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I like the pictures, but really, is there much more to it than
it's
that?
a good book.
The Hobbit and the BFG.
What kids are these aimed at? Bratty kids with glasses from the 1960s?
John Lewis kids. No book published since 2000 had made the list, which was conducted by YouGov and commissioned by
Rubbish.
John Lewis and Barnardo's as part of their reading programme, Storytime.
Where's the enormous crocodile? Where's Willy Wonka? Where's Charlie and Lola? Where's the Gruffalo?
Well,
Where's the
hang on.
Gruffalo?
It's the most recent book in the top 10 was The Gruffalo, written in 1999.
Wow.
Can you imagine? We grew up without the Gruffalo. It feels like we didn't, but we did.
I'm growing up with the Gruffalo now.
Oh.
Isn't this...
I love Karen Carpenter.
Yeah, I saw her once.
Did you?
I was sat yay close to her.
You never told me about that.
Well, let me tell you the story.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair and golden starlight in your eyes of blue. like me, they long to be close to you. Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Sing along with Dennis.
Good morning.
Sing along.
No, thank you. I feel too much feeling about this girl to sing with her.
Sorry?
I've too much feeling about this girl to try and get into a song. No, thank you very much for that record.
When you say too much feeling...
Yes, she still is one of my favourites.
I saw her once.
Yes, and she looks very pale, and she's just like a little waif.
Ah, beautiful Karen.
She starts
Beautiful
herself to
Karen
death.
Carpenter. If only we could have stopped it.
Yes, so do I. Give her a damn good feed and tell her she looked beautiful.
That's how it works. That's how you sort that out. What do you want, Dennis?
This slug business. You said you didn't have to touch it. Wasn't it not long ago somebody suggested to be used as a cosmetic for ladies? Slime on the face.
Was it definitely slug slime they were talking about?
Well, it might have been snail slime, I don't know, but you get shells in it if you get snail slime, won't you?
When you say slime, where did you read this?
In the Daily Mail, which of course is accurate for about everything.
Well, I read that too. They were decanting it.
Let's ask Catherine. Have you ever put slime on your face?
No.
Why not?
Well, actually, yeah. Of course I have. All women have.
Have they?
Yeah. What's it called? Serum. That's what they call it.
What do they call it?
Serum.
Wow, that's a relief.
I put that on. It's better than a cream sometimes. You put it on before your cream.
Well, you're supposed to, because if you've got... the leeches thing works, doesn't it?
No, not on...
No, not in the face.
Yeah.
But if leeches suck out your bad blood and they replace it with good blood. And also, and this is true, Dennis, this is an old one, if you've got a wound...
Yes.
You're supposed to wrap maggots in it.
That's quite correct.
So they eat the wound. This is true. Some hospitals in this country do it.
They eat the bad stuff.
Imagine a slug eating your wound. No, not a slug, a maggot eating your wound.
No, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it.
I've handled them regularly. I used to go and collect them for my grandfather when he was a fishing man. I used to go and collect.
I used to go fishing. I hated fishing, but I used to go to please my dad. And I was a very awkward young man. And I remember at the age of 11... It was really awkward, and I had a tub full of maggots, okay, and we'd finished, and what you do is you toss the maggots into the river, don't you?
Yeah.
But I was so awkward, I tossed the maggots into the river, and my arm went up in a perfect arc, and they all fell on my head. And the hard kids on the other side of the bank, they must be about 14, 15, they wet themselves laughing, my dad wet himself laughing, and I was dying inside, Dennis.
Why?
Because I'd tipped maggots all over my head.
So what? They're only little worms.
They're only little worm?
Yes.
They're only little worm?
Well, eat a few.
Could you stop your backside?
What?
You heard?
You're squeaking, Dennis.
We can hear you squeaking them out.
I know, it's this machine. Sorry.
Go, dearie me, unbelievable.
He carries on talking like nothing's happening.
I think we got as close to the knuckle as we could with that conversation without jeopardising too many careers. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 London bound looking heavy now between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. Also the A1M southbound building up at junction 7 for Stevenage. On public transport, Southern have delays of up to 20 minutes between Clapham Junction and Milton Keynes. Also, London Overground, we've got no trains running at the moment between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush because of overhead wire problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 6:46, it's Tuesday the 3rd of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. Police say a man stabbed in a mass brawl in Dunstable in the early hours of Saturday morning was extremely lucky. The 24-year-old needed surgery, but the weapon used did not cause serious injury. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's another rather grey and cloudy start to the day. We have one or two showers making their way across all three counties at the moment, actually, but this morning they're fairly insignificant. They shouldn't amount to too much. Limited brightness at the moment, but we should get some fairly nice sunny spells, or at least some breaks in the cloud as we head through the afternoon, but that in turn could spark off one or two potentially quite sharp showers later on today. Still going to feel quite warm, though. Maximum temperature getting up to around 19 Celsius. We've still got some showers first thing this evening. Eventually we'll get a brief period of dry weather through the middle part of the night, but quite soon after which we're going to get some more heavy and persistent rain heading our way from the south. It's working its way out from the continent, and by dawn we're all likely to be bathing in its glory. The minimum temperature 11 Celsius, 52 degrees in Fahrenheit. Now this rain is going to last through much of tomorrow. We'll get some heavier bursts in there. It's going to feel significantly cooler than it has done as well. The maximum temperature struggling up to 15, maybe 16 Celsius. Throughout tomorrow evening, it should clear out of the way. It's not all doom and gloom. By Thursday, we should see the return of some sunshine, and it should feel that little bit warmer. And that's your forecast.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
There's lots of people around that we know. There's a really good sense of community.
Inviting everyone to where you live.
We've got the nice high street, which is really local, so everything you need, really.
It's one of those places that has retained its character and will hopefully continue to do so for many, many years.
And all this week, we're featuring Stony Stratford.
It has character, life, everything you could wish for, and you think you're in a village, but you're still in Milton Keynes.
If you've got a story everyone should hear about, let us tell them about
it's a town
it.
where people want to work together to make the best of what we have.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
Stony Stratford, this is the place to be.
From BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm so sorry, we're laughing. Have you seen Kels, have you seen the pictures of Prince, the pop singer, the purple pervert, at the Open tennis tournament?
No. Where will I find such things?
Type in Prince. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link.
What's he doing? What's he got on?
What is that look? What is the look? Prince Open tennis images. You'll recognise him. He looks like a plum. Why would you do that?
I love Prince, and I think he is indeed funky. But what is that? It looks like he's got some sort of tabard on, like he's going to do a spot of light.
He looks like he looks like a blind sensei from the future, doesn't he?
Why is he dressed like a nun?
He topped it off with a cane, in case you're in any doubt that he's completely disappeared off his own ego.
He looks ridiculous. Anyway, that's
I do love him.
Ah, you got to love him.
And I think everyone's entitled to go in the dressing up box.
Yeah,
even
of course
Is that
they
a new
are.
shirt?
He's only 3'9". This is my favourite new checked shirt.
Do you have any shirts that aren't checked?
No.
Oh, just checking.
Frank's in Milton Keynes. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
Frank, what you got for us?
Oh, the word thing.
Oh, yeah?
Who can do the shortest sentence using the 3 twos?
What do you mean the 3 twos?
Well, there's T-O, T-O-O and T-W-O.
My brain just froze. I can.
For example...
Oh. Are you going to give us the answer?
No, I don't. There isn't an answer. Whoever can do the shortest one.
Hang on a minute.
Just a bit of fun.
It's just a bit of fun. Just having a little bit of fun. And that never gets anyone into trouble, does it?
An example, that the two of us went to the seaside. My sister came too.
That's massive! And I would suggest that's 2 sentences. There's a full stop before my sister. Yeah, there is.
Whoever can do the short...
Hang on, right. I need a pen. I haven't got a pen. Right, OK. So, hang on. 2, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
So, the 2... Would you two like to come to town too? Boom!
Would you two...
I just did that.
Hang on.
I don't know the answer.
No, I'll give...
See you two at 2 and 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Mine was shorter. You two, town two? Kelly, you have a go. We're having fun with words.
You two too?
You got another 2. You two. You're missing a 2.
You two.
Okay, you're just making noises. Frank, have a listen. Kelly's going to go. This is going to be rubbish, but brilliant at the same time. Kels, over to you.
You two. 2. 2 now.
Eh?
Oh, I feel sorry for her. But that's not... The start's not bad. You two, go into town. Why is everyone going to town?
Are you two going to?
Frank, can you do it? OK, here's one. Can you do it with the 4 twos?
Well, I don't think there is 4 twos, is
There's
there?
2, and you 2.
No, the spelling, it's all in the spelling.
No, there's...
gone wrong.
No, there's 2. There's 2. There's 2. There's 2. And there's you 2. As in the band, the Irish Rockers. So that's 4 twos. Can you do it?
No.
And 2.
No, he's not going to attempt it.
So there's 6. Can you do it with the 8 twos?
No, you only have to have 3 twos.
No, there's 8 now. There's 2. There's 2. You 2. 2. And Desmond 2. There's 8 twos. Can you do it, Frank?
No, I can't.
Thanks very much for calling.
In a 2.
I did 2.
Oh, I didn't understand that. I thought you were just saying 2.
Very complicated. Very complicated.
Stopped being fun, didn't it?
Fun. No, it became more fun, didn't it?
I don't know. It sounded like the sort of fun that's fun when you've had a few.
Yeah, I have. Have you not? Come on, Kath. Man up.
Not nearly enough.
Don't forget, tomorrow's a fun day. What's happening tomorrow, Kels?
We are two wearing all the same clothes.
We're wearing all the same clothes. So, we're going to start with the feet. You ready to sing the song?
Yes.
Black shoes, blue jeans, pink top, green jacket. Black shoes, blue jeans, pink top, green jacket. Black shoes, blue jeans, pink top, green jacket.
Why would you wear black shoes and blue jeans? Why would you wear a green jacket with a pink top?
I always
It sounds like all manner of wrong.
I've always worn black shoes with blue jeans until last year when
I told you to stop it.
Tripped me into buying some boots.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
She can wear what she wants. We're talking about you.
Whoa, hey, listen, I'm a very fashion-conscious guy. I'm going to be hanging out today with Rylan and Louisa from The Apprentice. Those guys know fashion, and I'm certainly going to be giving them a few tips. I think working...
They'll enjoy your tips, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Rylan's rubbed off on me.
Really?
I think so.
Oh. You all right, Kelly?
Give us a song.
Or should we talk about Kirsty?
Oh, yeah,
Kirsty.
Kirsty.
She said some stuff and got people annoyed. I don't think you should get annoyed, just disagree.
Yes.
Why do you have to get annoyed about it? Why do you have to slam people?
She comes from a place of privilege.
She does,
yeah.
Which is fair enough. It's not her fault.
No.
She reckons that women should have babies before they start worrying about university and stuff, which is okay if you've got somewhere to live and an income, I guess, and you're with the right person. There's a lot of ifs in there. I think that when you go to university, you should mostly be going out with idiots, because that's the point. Go out with the idiots then, be an idiot yourself, get it out of your system before you start taking care of anyone else.
But then there is the argument that women put their careers first and then they're too old to have a baby.
Well, or you could rephrase that to you get a job so you are able to look after a child, which is surely the responsible thing to do.
Well, no, you shouldn't marry a rich man.
Oh.
My mum had my sister at the age of 19, 20.
Yeah, but when did she get a job? 15?
Who?
Your mum.
I don't know. She didn't have a job then.
Did
she didn't have a job in the olden days. She didn't have a job in 1970. What are you talking about?
But maybe your dad's income covered the whole of the mortgage and she wasn't paying 50-50.
Nope. My mum is Broken Britain.
Right.
Right. They got pregnant when she was 19, shotgun wedding.
Always works out.
Always works out. He would just come out of the army and then went to work at the BBC but wasn't earning much money. Council property. Oh, shocking.
That's all right. That's the sort of people we should be supporting. He was still working, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right, so, what's the problem?
I don't know. Why are you having a go at my parents? You've never met them. What's your beef?
I'm looking at my beef.
Oh, put your beef away. I'm trying to do a show.
We said our goodbye the night before. Love was in your eyes the night before. Now today I find you have changed your mind. Treat me like you did Last night is the night I will remember you by. When I think of things we did, it makes me wanna cry. We said our goodbye the night before. Love was in your eyes the night before. Now today I find you have changed your mind. Treat me like you did the night before. When I held you near, you were so sincere. Treat me like you did the night before. Last night is the night I will remember you by. When I think of things we did, it makes me wanna cry. Were you telling lies the night before? Was I so unwise the night before? When I held you near, you were so sincere. Treat me like you did the night before. Like the night before.
Now, thanks to the way this computer has worked, we have to jump through all these other songs beginning with T before we can get to the travel. And we made it.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors in Cheshunt, the A10 southbound heavy going already as you head towards the M25. Then the M25 itself anti-clockwise slow going between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. On the M1 London bound, looking heavy between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. On public transport, Southern have delays of up to 20 minutes between Clapham Junction and Milton Keynes. And also London Overground, no trains at the moment between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush. That's because of overhead wire problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Alice. 08459 455 555. We're having fun with words. Well, you say fun. And other bits and pieces. We'll talk more after the news with Simon Oxley.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. The headlines. Mother's fears after son joins terrorist group. Man stabbed in Dunstable brawl. And work to start on hospital car park.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green near High Wycombe says she's heartbroken and very concerned about 24-year-old Thomas, who's a Muslim convert. More from Matt Lockwood.
Mrs Evans says she's afraid Thomas will become a suicide bomber. She would rather see him in a British prison than dying for his warped ideology in a foreign country. She says she's heartbroken at his decision to leave her and his brother Michael. Back in April, a national campaign was launched urging women to report male relatives planning to go abroad to commit terrorism.
Police say a man stabbed in a mass brawl in Dunstable in the early hours of Saturday morning was extremely lucky. The 24-year-old needed surgery, but the weapon used did not cause serious injury. The fight involved 30 to 40 people in Eleanor's Cross at about 1:45am. Bedfordshire Police are urging anyone involved to come forward with information. The European Commission has urged Britain to raise taxes on higher value properties and consider changing the Help to Buy mortgage scheme. The recommendations come as part of wider advice aimed aimed at helping all EU countries ensure long-term growth. A play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds and based on the real-life experiences of victims. The play also tackles online grooming. Sean McGrath is the creator and director.
It's about showing the sort of the manipulation that she goes through and how complex that manipulation is to end up with her looking as if she has given consent to this thing, whereas in real fact she hasn't.
Tens of thousands of people have taken to the streets of cities across Spain to demand a vote on the future of the country's royal family. The demonstrations came after King Juan Carlos announced that he will abdicate in favour of his son, Crown Prince Felipe. £1.5 million is to be spent on a new car park at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital. Work is due to begin next Monday. The two-storey building should be finished by September. More from Gail Sanderson.
The new car park's designed to relieve pressure on residential streets around the hospital, where staff and patients end up parking if they can't find a space. It'll be built on the existing hospital staff car park next to the breast screening unit on Lucy Road. Most of the work should take place during the school holidays to try and minimise disruption, and the hospital will be using temporary car parks at nearby businesses and schools.
In sport, Luton are set to sign Welling striker Ross Lafayette, according to his club, and Stevenage have transfer-listed striker Lucas Akins. The 25-year-old has been at the Lamex Stadium for 2 seasons. The weather, sunny intervals, but with scattered showers, which could be heavy and thundery. A maximum temperature 18 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
If I had a choice, I wouldn't live anywhere else.
It's one of those places that has retained its character and will hopefully continue to do so for many, many years.
It's all about where you live.
Oh, just a great buzzing place to live, really. There's so much going on.
And all this week, we're featuring Stony Stratford.
Stony Stratford, this is the place to be.
The big tour from BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, if you put it like that. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. It's nearly 4 minutes past 7. I don't know, I fancy a fried egg roll. Oh, a fried egg roll will go down. We have no option of getting one. Where on earth is Justin Dealey? Why isn't Justin Dealey here today doing, like a food run for me or something? Lots coming up on the show today, including a mum calls for her extremist son to be captured before he kills or is killed. Dramatic efforts, that means a play, to keep Hertfordshire school kids safe online, that means on computers. And how a walk in the park led to a big surprise in Rickmansworth. 08459 455 555 is the phone number if you want to give us a call on that or anything, really. We're not fussy at all.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Buckinghamshire mother has been informing police about her son, who is a Muslim convert and has gone to Somalia to fight for the terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Sally Evans, who lives in Woburn Green near High Wycombe, is worried her 24-year-old son Thomas will become a suicide bomber. Back in April, a national campaign was launched urging women to report male relatives planning to go abroad to become terrorists. Well, Zafar Khan chairs Luton Council of Faiths and is an expert on South Asian and Muslim affairs. Morning to you, Zafar.
Morning.
I'm assuming you welcome the approach taken by Mrs. Evans.
Well, yes, any mother would do that, any parent would do that, and I wish her very best.
Do you think any parent would do that? Because quite often the parent wants to protect the child and doesn't want them to be arrested or to be thought badly of.
I think, look, in this case, perhaps the mother is worried that the son will get into some trouble and may lose his life. And I think, a mother would, that's a mother's instinct. Parents always want to protect their children. And I don't know the details of this case, but, as a parent, I would be worried about my children.
Is it harder, Zafar, we often hear it's harder for Muslim women to come forward about male relatives that they may have concerns about. Any truth in that?
I think mothers are mother all over the world and in all communities, but it's a question of structurally how empowered individuals are. Now, this particular mother may be much more articulate than perhaps most average Muslim mothers, but I think the question is how empowered and how informed and how articulate people are in order to ensure that, that they are able to perhaps influence movements of their children.
We're hearing lots of these examples of extremism coming from this area of Buckinghamshire. We've had Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, Samantha Luthwaite from Aylesbury, Donald Stewart White, who was arrested in connection with liquid bomb plots, who apparently visited Thomas Evans. Should we read anything into this?
I'm not sure what the background is, but I think extremism needs to be challenged and it needs to be actually identified, and we as a society need to actually stand up to it. But there may be some reasons I don't know. I don't know about that.
Mrs. Evans' son, Thomas, is a Muslim convert. Often when people convert to a religion, Christianity or anything, later on in life, they seem to be more zealous about it, it seems to be a more intense relationship with the religion. Should we be more worried about converts?
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be like that. Why should a person who's on a spiritual journey should take upon themselves to go and perhaps prepare for taking another person's life? That seems quite contradictory, and I think people who are converting into Islam or whatever, a spiritual journey need to actually be more they need to look into their actions.
How does the message get so confused, Zafar? Because I'm not one of those idiots that thinks that Islam is a particularly violent religion. I'm sure that its basic tenet is the same as most religions of peace and love. How does that message get so confused in the head of certain people that they become violent?
I have no idea. We need to actually look into this. This is also this puts Islam and the Muslim communities in disrepute, and I think this is what worries an overwhelming majority of Muslims, that events or such incidents actually taint their faith, and I think that's where we need to actually work.
Zafar, finally, what do you think about the campaign that was launched in April aimed at encouraging women to inform police about male relatives planning to go abroad to become terrorists? Do you think things like that are good?
I think it's well intentioned, but I would actually I would focus on empowering families and communities before expect any results out of such campaigns, because I think campaigns are good and it was well intentioned and it's a positive perhaps campaign, but I would want to see how empowered the communities are in order to perhaps cooperate freely and cooperate maybe unequivocally with the authorities.
Zafar, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Zafar Khan chairs Luton Council of Faiths.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I wonder, how does the message get so confused? And it's not just Islam, because Islam is a violent religion. A bit plumb, of course it's not. Remember, who was Anders Breivik? Remember Anders Breivik? Hey, he wasn't Islamic, he was a Christian, and he went and shot a load of people on an island and put some bombs in a city.
But what it seems to be is people looking for direction in their lives that they haven't got. I mean, by Thomas Evans' mother's, Sally's, admission, he went off the rails, didn't he? And found something solid, maybe. And that's how it started.
But, there's
for some people that turns into something positive.
Yeah, of course. Oh, listen, spiritual journeys. Hey, listen, we should all go on a in many ways we are on a spiritual journey. We just haven't realised it yet. But it's interesting how it then turns into from trying to find a place in the cosmos and in the world to go into a foreign country and learning how to fire machine guns and make bombs.
But he thinks he's doing the right thing. This is the thing, isn't it? He thinks he's doing the right thing. It's the idealism of youth and maybe a misguided youth. It's a dangerous thing.
08459 455 555. And there will be people listening going, oh, yeah, it's Islam, isn't it, though? If you read it, it's all about killing the infidels and... Well, hang on, go and read the Bible, guys. You know, that's all about killing people.
What about that young lad in America? He found companionship and brotherhood on a website that hates women, and that's why I ended up going on this.
Oh, there was a really... What's his name? Elliot something.
Yeah.
It was a really annoying thing in the Mail on Sunday. Sorry?
Rogers, is that his name?
Yeah, sure.
With a D?
There was a really annoying thing on the Mail on Sunday about that. Is Hollywood to blame for this boy's killing spree? And it was a really badly written article by some plum who was just regurgitating facts, and then kind of the basic premise at the end was, and his dad produced violent films, and he sent a nasty tweet to Seth Rogen. To Seth Rogen, the chubby comedian, blaming him for his films. What? Hang on a second. No, it wasn't the fact that it wasn't Hollywood's fault. It was the fact that he was mentally ill. It went unchecked, and America's got really slack gun laws.
That's as crazy as saying, was it women's fault that he did what he did? That's crazy. He was a misguided and troubled young person. What's that?
It's only the new Queen of Spain.
Oh, yeah, I know. She's a beauty.
Hey, let's hope. Come on, Your Madge. Come on, Charles. Out of the way. We've got European competition. If we want to keep our position in Europe, we need a hot queen.
She was their version of Susanna Reid, you know. She was a television presenter.
She is Princess Letizia. That's her name. Letizia. Always trying to spoil my fun, aren't you?
Yes.
41.
Especially when it's that kind of fun.
A former television newsreader is to become the new king of Spain after... You've got to be careful how you say this. After King Juan Carlos announced he was... Was that okay?
Yeah.
Announced he was abdicating in favour of her husband, his son, Crown Prince Philippe. Right, this is it. Elizabeth II, Charles... You got to go, guys. You off. We need to get Kate in. We need to get Kate in and up against this woman.
Oh, right, it's teams, is it?
Tag team, jelly wrestling. What?
A glam off.
And having a glam. We need to. If we want to keep up with Europe, if we want to keep our place in
do
Europe...
we want to keep up with Spain?
Yeah,
really?
we do.
I think it's the other way round.
No, they've got brilliant villas.
They've got awful, terrible, half-built estates because no one's got any money.
No, and it's because they grabbed all the land back. But don't worry about that. They've got villas. They've got swimming pools.
They're not full at the moment. They can't afford to fill them.
They will be full if she walks around in a bikini. That's what they need. She's the poster girl for going to Spain.
She's very much a modern royal in that she's not royal. She's been married before as well.
Hey!
She wasn't married in the church, so they didn't recognise that. Let's not worry about that.
Oh, she's a goer then.
What?
She's been married before, wasn't married in a church. Gay.
She's a modern woman.
Beautiful, beautiful. The big squeeze. Here's something for you ladies.
Oh, good.
9 in 10 women... What size shoes have you got, Kelly?
3.
Seriously, what size shoes have you got, Kelly?
3.
What?
I'm a small person. What do you expect from me to have massive clown feet?
Whoa, what are you saying?
Like Catherine?
No.
Mine are average size.
What size are yours?
Catherine's feet are perfect for her body.
OK, well, 9 in 10 women choose shoes that do not fit.
Silly.
What do you mean?
A Cinderella's...
Smaller or bigger?
Look at this. This is the most eloquent first sentence ever written. Hannah Furness from... What paper is this? The Daily Telegraph. It's got a word in there I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm going to do it. It's full of jokes.
Is it love?
No, OK, the first sentence is... How would you pronounce this word? A-V-E-R.
Ava.
Yeah?
A-V-E-R?
A-V-E-R.
Is it a misspelling of a verse?
No. As Cinderella's... This is such a good first sentence. As Cinderella's hapless sisters would Ava...
Oh.
Squeezing into the wrong size shoes is no easy feat. Oh, Hannah!
Would you like to know what Ava means?
I would like to, yeah.
It's to state or assert.
Oh, Hannah! This is what... Right. This is what newspaper... Telegraph isn't my favourite newspaper. It is today. This is what writing should be.
Ah, it's from the French, the old French. Avare.
Well, don't try and ponce yourself up and then do that chomping face. You didn't know it. Right, this is what newspapers should do. The first sentence has got me a word that I didn't know what it meant, and it's got a joke in. Did you pick up on the joke?
Yes.
Feet.
Yes.
As Cinderella's hapless sisters would aver, squeezing into the wrong size shoes is no easy feat. Oh, Hannah! Hannah! She's great. Just tell us what aver means again.
It's state or assert to be the case.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new word, and I want you to call up this morning. We're having fun with words this morning. 08459 455 555. And I would like you to aver a sentence with the word aver in.
Wow.
Yeah?
I don't think that's...
To state. I've stated.
In the positive.
Why not?
It's to assert, to agree, to affirm.
OK, so I want them to...
aver.
I want them to aver a sentence with aver in.
I aver with what you're doing.
Is she doing it better than me?
I hope so.
Kath, is she doing it better than me?
Just say yes.
Yes, I aver.
I haven't got a clue.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 London bound, heavy going between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. The M25 anti-clockwise, slow going between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. On the speed sensors in Markyate, the A5 southbound, heavy going around the Luton Road. And on public transport, London Overground have no trains between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush after overhead wire problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
I aver that was a really good travel bulletin. Would you aver with me, girls?
Yeah.
What? What did she say?
I have no idea what she said.
I've got a joke coming up as well. You ready?
Oh, goody.
Whatever.
Oh.
We're just having fun with words, guys, that's all. 7:17, it's Tuesday the 3rd of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May. That's according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide Building Society. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
And I really aver with that.
Imagine a radio station with no music.
What's your favourite biscuit?
Imagine a programme without conversation.
Listen to me, I'm really important.
Imagine an afternoon with no local stories.
Hundreds of miles away, something really impressive is happening.
Sounds pretty boring. Which is why we have Nick Coffer.
BBC Three Counties Radio, Nick Coffer, here until 3 o'clock.
Every weekday he'll bring you the music.
Gallagher and Lyle, I want to stay with you. Every breath you take, that's a police.
The conversation.
His dedication to local musicians has led him to starting Papermouth.
And the local stories.
Today we're going to be looking at the work of the Bedford and Milton Keynes Waterways Trust.
Say no to boring afternoons and listen to Nick Coffer. Weekdays from midday here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's why we got Nick Coffer.
Call 08459
I knew there was a reason.
455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Shortest sentence with the 3 twos. We've held back on the 8 twos, the 3 twos. April in Luton says, shortest sentence, to eat 2 buns too. Boom, she's in.
Well done.
Pass the book to 2-2, says Leslie. What on earth does that mean?
Maybe two's his name.
Iain, that list is the book list. Winnie the Pooh is like the best children's book ever.
It's a good book.
It's not. It's boring.
It's a brilliant book.
It's boring. Kids don't sit down and listen to it. It doesn't grab their attention.
My kids love it. We went to the 100-acre wood at Aldenham Country Park a couple of
Great
weeks
for you.
ago.
Yeah, okay,
it's great. You can bring it to life.
Brilliant.
Read them the books, take them there.
That's really interesting. Now, why don't you sit down and read them one of those boring, badly written, old-fashioned books?
No, we've read them all.
I think Kath could make any book sound interesting because she can do all the voices.
Ava.
Exactly.
Aver.
Anyway, Mav says, that list has annoyed me. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the best children's book and probably in the top 10 all-time books. It's better than To Kill a Mockingbird. Stephen St Albans, Iain, I had a really nice full English at home. I had a really nice full English, all home-produced. Good show, keep it up. Or you could had it over to the Cat and Kelly show.
Good idea.
Oh,
yeah, okay, I'll had it over. Ava.
Thanks.
I'm going to had it over. That's the level of your fans. They want me to had it over.
Oh, he's listening to you first.
Yeah. 08459 455 5. Don't sit back all smugly and then pick up your coffee and have a little sup.
Hey, some days I love my job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have a job? Wow. Now, a play warning 12 to 15-year-olds about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. Chelsea's Choice is based on the real-life experiences of victims and, according to its director, is a great way to address a difficult subject. But is it too late once they're 12? Fleur Strong is from the charity Parents Against Child Sexual Exploitation. Morning, Fleur.
Good morning, Ian.
Do initiatives like this actually help abuse from happening?
Yes, I'd say they are. Chelsea's Choice is a really good play, and it's targeting just the right age group, which is starting from about 12 to 15. So I think the fact that it's going on in Hertfordshire is a really good idea.
I'm an old man, Fleur, but I remember being at school, and when we were told we had a play coming in, that meant DOS. Do young people sit and pay attention?
I think they do. The play's really short. It's about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But it's based on a true story. It's based on someone who's about their age, about 13. And it's done really, really quickly, so it keeps their attention, the pace of the play. And I think it shocks people as well, so it keeps them engrossed. So it's not quite the same as watching television when perhaps, we were the same age.
What are the themes? What are kind of the key points in this production?
I think the key points really for Chelsea's Choice is trying to get through to people who are really quite young what a healthy relationship looks like. So, when someone comes to you and the concept of dating and that first boyfriend or girlfriend, trying to explain to them what they should be looking for, and if there's any concern, if it's a much older person, that they really shouldn't be going down that path. It's a concept of choices, so which choice would you make if you were put in that position? Because I think the problem about this type of abuse is that it's very difficult, if you're young, to recognise what a dangerous situation you're getting yourself into.
Are young people in abusive relationships likely to recognise that they're being exploited? Surely, oh, he loves me, oh, she loves me. They won't necessarily realise that they're in danger.
Absolutely correct, Ian. I mean, one of the things that we experience is that we still have young people who, even when the people who've abused them have gone through the court system, these young people still think that they're in love with them and still think that there's a relationship. It's really, really difficult to believe and understand sometimes as an adult. But the grooming process is so complete. It's like a form of brainwashing. And most people might think, oh, that won't happen to my child, it wouldn't happen to my kid. But it does happen, and it's a risk that, as parents, we do need to understand and be aware.
Is there anything parents can do? Because I remember my mum hated my first girlfriend, so that made me more attracted to my first girlfriend. And the young people tend to rebel against the suggestions or warnings of their parents, don't they?
Well, it's one of those ones which we often do within training. It's understanding the difference between what we've all experienced, which is what you might call a stroppy teenager, or someone who's, growing up and challenging boundaries. But this is completely different, and it's because it's a sort of combination of factors, but missing from home, skiving from school, coming home with gifts, coming home drunk. It's like a build-up of a change in character in your child or behaviour that you feel is wrong. And often, as a parent, you will be the first one who recognises that something isn't right. And it can also be through social media. And it is different from having your first boyfriend or first girlfriend.
Fleur, it's an important message. Let's hope it gets through as much as it can. I appreciate your time. Fleur Strong from the charity Parents Against Child Sexual Exploitation.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
Yep.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
By Ava with everything that she was saying. The big squeeze. We haven't got to the story yet. And Hannah Furness. I want to find out more about this Hannah Furness, and I want to take her out and buy her a cream tea, because this really is excellent writing. We've not even got to the second sentence yet.
It's a rubbish story, though, isn't it?
Well,
Women wearing their shoes too small.
Is it?
Is it, though?
Is it? Yes.
Is it? Yes, it is.
It's a potential time bomb. There's a shoe time bomb. There's a foot time bomb ticking away right underneath you.
No, there isn't.
The big squeeze. 9 in 10 women choose shoes that do not fit. Wonderful first sentence from Hannah Furness here. Here we go. As Cinderella's hapless sisters would have Ava...
They weren't hapless. They knew exactly what they were doing.
As Cinderella's all-knowing sisters would Ava, squeezing into the wrong size shoes is no easy feat. Great gag. But apparently, that is exactly what British women are doing as the average foot size increases, opting for shoes that are too small to conform to a social ideal that celebrates petite, dainty feet. During the past 4 decades, the average British foot has increased by 2 shoe sizes. Research by the College of Podiatry suggests, and I over with that research. The increase. Do you know why? Sorry, what?
No, I'm interested. Tell me.
Okay. The increase caused by people becoming heavier and taller. So if you're heavier, do you have bigger feet? The fact people have
maybe it makes your feet spread.
Squash it out. Means a typical woman is now a size 6. Oh, you're typical.
In many ways.
Up from 4, while men have jumped from size 8 to 10. The college says a person's foot... Oh, look, here we go. The college said a person's foot also increases in width during their lifetime if they put on weight, as it splays to give more support. Splayed feet. I'll be honest, her writing... she peaked at the first sentence.
Yeah, she lost it. She started talking nonsense.
Yeah, she Hannah, I'm going to retract the invitation of a cream tea, if that's all right, my love, because the first sentence was wonderful. Yeah, you kind of peaked, and I think a lot of my listeners would aver with me on that.
Anyway, why do they care? Who are you saying this? If we're going to go and get our feet measured every time we go, like children, is that what they're saying?
I'm going to move to Spain.
Well, you could.
I'm going to.
I don't think you'd like. I don't think you'd like it very much.
I would love it there. Lager.
Oh, that's not...
Tell me the news, I got a
bad case
of loving you.
Magaluf. Got a bad case of Magaluf.
Nope. Anyway, the new Queen of Spain is hot.
Andy Peters has got buff.
He has. He's been working out.
He's been buff for a long time.
GMTV Britain.
Oh, for goodness sake. Europe tells Britain to increase taxes. Bring it on, Europe. Apart from Spain, where I'm kind of keen to do whatever those guys over there say. The Guardian. They've opted for a picture of the King Juan Carlos and his son. They've not put a picture of the Queen, which I think is a mistake. And other stuff. The Independent, Andy Murray, with a really long neck. Hasn't he got a long neck?
Yeah, it helps with the tennis.
It would do, wouldn't it? Judge prevents May... All the news today is really, really boring, if I'm completely honest.
Apart from that one from Kirsty Allsop, who said something a bit controversial.
Oh, no, the Sun has got a good one.
Here we go.
Sumo baby boom.
Aww.
Sumo baby boom. Fat kids. Dramatic rise in 12-pound newborns. Britain's obesity epidemic has sparked a rise in heavyweight sumo babies.
Yeah, a rise, but most of the kids that were born around the time my children were sort of 5-6 pounders. I had big babies, so they thought, at 8 pounds.
Is this true? That it doesn't matter what the size of the baby is, they kind of they all kind of come out. It wouldn't make that much difference.
It smarts either way.
It's going to smart either way, and it doesn't smart anymore. £12 to £8 doesn't smart much more because they kind of contract.
Well, it's difficult to know because having not had a range of different sized babies, and I don't want to try that experiment. It was quite bad.
Would you not do that for the show? Would you not go and get pregnant by a fat man?
I don't think that makes you have big babies. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, it's an experiment, so we want to try it. So
I'd have to have a range of differently sized children and say, yeah, that hurts more.
If you're a fat man and you'd like to try an experiment with us,
stop it.
08459.
But you're making it sound like it's going to be kind of, your eye exam that you have. Better, worse, the same.
Eye exam. You can turn your papers over now. What colour are our eyes?
Does that hurt more or less? Or just the same? Yeah. The same. It still really hurts.
All right, Catherine. We know you're a woman. Calm down. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
At the Black Cat roundabout, the A1 southbound is queuing. Also on the speed sensors in Kings Langley, the A41, very heavy going as you head towards the M25. The M25 itself anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. Also got some delays between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. On public transport, London Overground have no trains running between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush because of overhead wire problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May, according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide. It's the fastest rise since 2007, with an average house price of over £186,000. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Luton are set to sign Welling striker Ross Lafayette, according to his club. Welling say they're disappointed at what they describe as a U-turn by the striker, who had agreed a new one-year deal. 27-year-old Lafayette scored 16 goals for Welling last season, including one against Luton on Easter Saturday. Stevenage have transfer-listed striker Lucas Akins. The 25-year-old has been at the Lamex Stadium for 2 seasons. Borough Chairman Phil Wallace says Akins wants to move despite being under contract. England midfielder Frank Lampard has confirmed he will leave Chelsea this summer after 13 years at Stamford Bridge. Lampard has 16 offers to consider, but won't make a decision until after the World Cup. Meanwhile, his England teammate Adam Lallana has told Southampton he wants to leave. Lallana has been linked with a move to Liverpool. Andy Murray is through to the quarter-finals of the French Open after beating Spain's Fernando Verdasco in straight sets. He'll play the Frenchman Gael Monfils in the last 8 tomorrow.
Tough match. I mean, he obviously plays, I think in the Grand Slams he's played his best tennis here by far. He loves playing in front of a big crowd. He's a great athlete, maybe the best we've had in tennis.
At the Hockey World Cup in Holland, England's men beat India 2-1 with the last-minute winner. Today, England's women take on China. Zoe Shipperley, who plays for Buckingham, is in the squad for the first time.
I'm still learning all about them. They're still trying to get to know me. So spending time with them was great. I mean, going away to Bremen, then even just going to San Diego in January or February, that was amazing, just to actually get to meet people and in a slightly social aspect as well as just actually on the pitch.
And England's cricketers play the 5th and deciding one-day international against Sri Lanka at Edgbaston. The day-night match starts at 2:00. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, Catherine. Well, it's been very, very nice working with you. We had a good run. And
well, you did.
Keep in touch, won't you?
No.
Ta-ra!
Oh, what's happened?
No, don't say.
I'm not going to.
We got away with it. We were talking about getting away with things yesterday, weren't we?
Weren't we just? Pedigree, Pete. Oh, blimey. Pete, turn your radio off.
I haven't got it on.
Well, but go off speakerphone.
Oh, dear.
Turn
goodbye.
your speaker down.
Goodbye.
Oh, no, Pete. Just turn it down.
Turn your speaker off.
Hang on.
His hand's free in it, so it's...
How's that?
Rubbish. Sort him out. I can't talk to him
Shall
like
I
that.
find out what he wanted to say?
I can't talk to you when you're like this.
Yeah, you recount it, Kelly. You talk to him now and recount.
All right.
I can't talk to him like that.
Pete?
I can even hear it through.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he said he's going to delete it.
Delete what?
Don't know. Oh, hello?
What are you doing, Pete?
Pete?
Pete, what's happening, Pete? Pete. Pedigree, Pete.
It's just gone silent down the line.
Well, should we assume that he's gone?
No, wait, Pete.
Oh, flipping heck.
Hello? All right, let's try this. Have a try of this.
Pete!
Yes, hello.
No! He's gone. Pete's gone. He's had his. No, he's gone. He's gone. He's had his chance. He's had his chance.
Don't be like that.
Well, this is. Look, let's be honest, guys. This is not great radio. Me watching Kelly trying to sort out the Larson effect. Oh, sorry. Don't you know what the Larson effect is?
Yeah, feedback.
It's the proper term for feedback.
Well, I'm glad we shared that.
Feedback's a lot quicker, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Larson effect is a great name for a band.
I thought that he was the guy that did The Far Side.
Oh, the Far Side used to be funny, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a Far Side a day calendar.
What you say to your cat? You're a naughty cat. Get off the bed. Stop pooing everywhere. What your cat hears is...
That's
nice.
like a conversation between us two.
I think my
That's what I
cat's
hear.
getting ready to die.
What?
Yeah, I think she's
Why?
getting ready to die.
Digging a
She
grave.
writing a will.
Well, she's not moved for a week. No, she's not. She's sitting on the step outside. She never sits on the step outside, and she's spending all day asleep on the step outside. I think she's slowing it down. She's getting ready to check out. And can I just say, boys and girls, when my cat does die, I'm taking a month off. She's been with me longer than my wife, than my children, and my sanity and sobriety. I'm taking a month off to commemorate the passing of my cat.
So she's revving up for that.
Yeah.
You're revving up for a month off.
Yeah. Something like that. Kels.
Pete's back and better than ever.
Hey, Pete!
Hello, my friend.
Oh, Pete!
Sorry about that.
You are going to get a slapped bottom, Pete.
Yeah.
Now,
okay,
who would you like to administer the slapped bottom? It's a choice between Kelly, Catherine, myself, or the mystery slapper.
I'll go for all four.
You can't.
If I'm going to get slapped, I want to get slapped properly.
We'll start with the mystery slapper. That's, of course, political correspondent Paul Scoynes.
Oh, that'll do, yeah.
That'll do. He's got a very firm hand. Pete, what you got?
Now, listen, this morning, I came down, because I'm an early starter, I came down this morning.
Yeah.
Went in and had a cup of tea.
Yeah.
I looked over.
All right.
And my cat, its fur, was really tangled.
Sorry?
Aver. Is that correct? The word.
Do it again. This is the new word, aver. And I'm going to tweet. I'm actually going to tweet Hannah Furness in a little bit and congratulate her on the first sentence of her story. I'm going to do it.
Right,
So go
I
on.
was sitting having a cup of tea this morning on the settee, and I looked across at my cat, and its fur was really tangled.
No, I see what you've done there, Pete. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's fur. Did we really spend 10 minutes trying to get you on air for that?
Yes.
Goodbye. Have we got no quality control here, ladies? Have we got no way of finding out what they want to say before they come on?
I think you made a ver point.
I'm not doing puns. I hate puns. Puns are so rubbish.
So
I put on what I get.
Well, can we get better than that?
Yeah, if you give out the number.
I'm not going to.
08459 455 555.
Okay, let's have a little look at the front. But now, the Daily Mail and the Daily Express. Well, there's a court case we can't talk about on the front page of the Daily Mail. But mum who killed her baby can't be deported because of her human right to family life. What? A foreign nurse who force-fed her baby to death, cannot be deported because it would breach her right to a family life. The Ghanaian woman won her right to stay in Britain under controversial human rights laws. And even though the 33-year-old was named in the widely reported court case that saw her jailed, she's now been granted anonymity. Well, there you go. It's controversial, the old thing. Daily Express. Oh, the Express are loving... What's it called? Prior Deluge. They're loving Prior Deluge at the moment. Why? Because Maddie, radar hunt for clues. British police start dig on land just 300 yards from the kidnap scene. At last, they've been writing about this for the last 7 years, having virtually nothing to say. Now the Daily Express actually has something to say about the Madeleine McCann case. The hunt for clues to find Madeleine McCann gathered pace yesterday as British detectives began work on Portuguese soil. Officers with spades and ground-penetrating radar moved in on wasteland 300 yards from where the apartment where Madeleine was staying when she... Would radar pick up anything? I'm looking to you, Catherine, as though you're some kind of technical guru. I know you're not, but is radar going to pick up anything so late in the day?
Isn't that just the same thing as sort of geophys on Time Team?
It's not quite geocaching, I don't think.
No, not that. Geophysics.
I don't know what that means.
About? So you can scan, can't you, and see whether there is something interrupting the flow of the Earth.
And what, it pops up, does it?
You'd be able to see an outline of something that would be a newer addition.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
I think, I don't know.
Wouldn't it be amazing if, in the next few weeks, the mystery was solved? Wouldn't that be incredible? Well, it could do.
I think it would finally give her parents some peace. It would be awful.
It would give her parents some peace from the flipping idiots on Twitter who... I got into this last time he mentioned it. All the idiots that go, it's a conspiracy. The McCanns killed her. It's a conspiracy. Look at the evidence. You click on link, you get taken to a really bad website that looks like it was made on GeoCities in the 1990s. Oh, that's the evidence. That's the evidence you got, is it? It's really unpleasant people on Twitter, aren't they? People who are maddie conspiracists and e-cigarette smokers. A trucker drove watching the telly. A lorry driver was stopped after driving for at least 20 miles along a motorway while watching a film yesterday.
Oh, this is after the Skype conversation.
After the Skype conversation, after the woman reading a book at the weekend, worried motorist called cops after spotting his HGV swaying across the road as he appeared to view a portable DV. I was once in a minibus. What was it? It was for a job, and we were driving from Manchester to Birmingham. And the driver... there were screens throughout the minibus, but also the driver could see the screen in front of him. And he was obsessed with... It's a very weird thing for a driver to be obsessed with. He was obsessed with Shania Twain. And all through the journey, he was putting on Shania Twain concert DVDs. And kind of watching them.
Oh.
And I tell you what, Kels, that certainly didn't impress me very much.
Ha!
Kath?
You don't get it, do you?
Yeah, of course I do. It's that song that she sings.
Yeah, that doesn't impress me very much.
So you're Brad Pitt.
Who cares, man? Not me. I am Shania Twain. She's quite famous in her own right. I nearly kissed her once.
Did you?
Officers...
She ran.
Officers traced the truck and found him still watching a movie.
This stuff's been going on for years. It's just that people didn't take pictures of it.
Well, it's not been going on for years, mate, because this technology hasn't existed for years. It's only in the last 6 months.
People doing stupid stuff. I remember driving in front of a bloke in a white van who was quite clearly eating his butties and reading a book off his steering wheel.
Some people are such good multitaskers now, aren't they?
It doesn't say, and Andy Crick, I'm really picking up on journalists today because I'm just thinking I might do that as a career. He doesn't mention what the film was, and I think that is... Give us a call. What film? No, bit of fun.
Don't do this.
Bit of fun.
Please don't do
what film could a Turkish truck driver have been watching? So there you got a Turkish man, a truck driver. He's on the motorway. He's driving a lorry. I'll throw in one in Convoy. 08459.
Where that man is the trucker and he only sees his feet, his legs.
Feud, Wim Wenders. I know the one. It's a Steven Spielberg film.
Yeah, it's good.
Fuel. What do you... Feud. What's the film?
I'm not sure, because even if you say it, I don't know if I'll know it.
08459 455 555 is the phone number. What was the name of that film?
Someone, tell me when this will stop.
And he's driving the truck. He's driving the car.
Promise me, if I stuck it out for 6 months, you give me a promotion. And it's been longer than that. It feels that way.
It's...
when?
You only see his feet and then he goes off the edge of a cliff.
When will you deliver me from this?
What is it called?
It's doing
so
songs
annoying.
for truckers.
It is...
Love.
Catherine. Can't think of it. If anyone knows, 08459 455 555. Kath, you got any ideas? What the film's called?
Anything with Kebab Windsor.
What?
Turkish.
Bit racist, mate. We're having a little bit of fun here.
Who's on Fatal One?
Who's this?
Nina.
Nina!
Hi.
Nina?
The film you're thinking of is Duel.
Duel! Yes, Nina! That would be a great film for a Turkish truck driver to be watching while he's driving on the motorway, wouldn't it?
Put me back on the news. Seriously, boss, put me back on the news. All
better than
will be forgotten.
Which I think
Love.
Catherine suggested. That's a terrible idea for a film. I say it's a little bit offensive to call a film kebabish. Excellent stuff, Nina. Thank you very much, Nina.
You're welcome.
Ta-ra, there we go, you see. It was Duel, Catherine. So, 08459 455 555, a little bit of fun. Name some films that a Turkish truck driver could be watching while he's driving along a motorway in a truck. That's going to be a great phone-in. Guys?
Beulah?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors, the A1M southbound are looking very heavy between junction 8 for Hitchin and 7 for Stevenage. Also, the M25 anti-clockwise, slow going between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 16 for the M40. M1 London bound, heavy between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. And on public transport, Southern have trains not running at the moment between Clapham Junction and Milton Keynes because of overhead wire problems between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush. That's also affecting London Overground, where there are no trains between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Alice. 7:46. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Buckinghamshire mother says she has been informing police about her son, who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May. That's according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide Building Society. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15 years. Coming up, a bench. Find out more. It's a very significant bench. Find out more after the weather with Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's another cloudy start to the day. 1 or 2 scattered showers around as well. It's not all doom and gloom, though. We should get some brightness, some breaks in the cloud. The sun will come through, but in turn, later on this afternoon, that could spark off 1 or 2 heavy showers. Still going to feel quite warm, though, throughout the course of the day. The maximum temperature later on could get up to 18, maybe even 19 Celsius if we get any decent breaks in the cloud. Overnight, we'll still have 1 or 2 showers at first, but then we'll get a dry spell. It's not going to last for too long. It will quite quickly be replaced by some more persistent rain, which is wriggling its way towards us from the continent overnight. Minimum temperature 11 Celsius, 52 degrees in Fahrenheit. By dawn, we're all going to be enjoying this wet weather, and it's not going too far tomorrow. It's a rather wet, cloudy and chilly day. It's certainly going to feel markedly cooler than it has done for the last few days. Maximum temperature struggling up to around 15, maybe 16 Celsius if we're lucky. Tomorrow evening, it will start to clear, and then by Thursday, we should see some sunshine again. That's your forecast.
Every weekday morning.
My show's called The JVS Show, 9 o'clock in the morning on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Jonathan Vernon Smith.
I deal with the consumer problems that affect people all over Beds, Herts and Bucks.
And I said, well, I didn't come all this way to be looking at a broken down hotel.
Those companies, those councils, those organisations that are letting people down.
This guy turned around and said to me that they're not prepared to pay me, and I said, so you're forcing me to take action. And he said, good luck, and put the phone down on me.
I get my teeth into them.
Oh, Jonathan, I'll start crying soon. We don't know what to do.
Deal with them and hopefully get results for you, the consumers.
And it got so convoluted, I thought there's only one person who can sort this out.
The JVS Show on BBC Three Counties Radio. Across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Here's a nice story. Can we do a nice story for a change? Yes, let's. I like this a lot. A walk in the park led to a brilliant surprise for one Hertfordshire man recently. Gary Nichols lost his dad, John, 4 years ago. John was a Second World War veteran who lived in Rickmansworth for most of his life. Well, thanks to the thoughtfulness of Gary's family and friends, there'll be a lasting reminder of him for many years to come. Morning, Gary.
Good morning, Ian.
Tell us what happened.
I was out with my wife on the Sunday, walking down towards Rickmansworth, and we came down Scotts Hill, for those of you that know Rickmansworth, and at the bottom is an area called Fortune Common. And walking along, I didn't know where we were going. I knew a surprise was planned for me, and got along there, saw my brother-in-law up ahead. Unusual, but, carried on. Next thing, my sister-in-law pops out from under a tree nearby, and then my cousin and my nephew and another niece and a nephew. And then I noticed a bench next to the tree, which had been arranged in secret by my wife Susie in memory of my father John.
Hey,
Complete surprise.
Listen, one of my great hobby is perhaps too strong a word, but whenever I'm in a park or in a woods or something, and there are benches with little dedications to people, I always stop and read them, and you kind of wonder why, who these people were and what they were. You didn't know this was happening at all, did you, Gary?
Not at all. No, not a clue. No.
I'm assuming there's an inscription or something on there.
Yeah. The bench says John Nichols, a twin, 7th son, youngest of 13, a very lucky man.
A fan.
And he was.
Was he a seventh son? You're supposed to be lucky if you're a seventh son, aren't you?
It is, yes. I think it was a combination of all those, the 13th, the seventh son and the twin, and he was a very lucky man all his life.
Fantastic. And was this spot particularly special to Dad?
Yes, it was. Yeah, Dad lived all his life in Rickmansworth, and he worked for Rickmansworth Council and then Three Rivers. And the tree that I mentioned, he actually planted that back in the early 50s. One of the first jobs he did when he was at the council, and so the bench is right next to his tree, which is perfect.
Have you got kids, Gary?
No, we haven't.
Okay,
no.
but this is going to be something that's going to be there, for forever, that people are going to see and have a little think about when they sit down on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your dad was a bit of a hero, was he, in the Second World War?
Well, he was in the Second World War, yeah.
They were all heroes. What was his job?
He was an infantryman, North Africa, Italy, and then up into Europe and occupied Germany.
Yeah.
And all 7 of his brothers went to the Second World War, and all 7 came back.
Hey, well, not many people were lucky enough to get those odds.
No, not at all.
What do you reckon Dad would have made of the bench?
He would have been hugely proud of it.
Yeah.
He was a Rickmansworth man all his life, and because he worked for the council, he planted a tree. He did a lot of other landscaping and things that made a mark on Rickmansworth. And then to have this as a new local landmark, if you like, in his honour, he would have been hugely proud.
Oh.
And the fact that it's been in the press as well. He liked all that sort of thing.
He was a little bit of a show-off, was he?
He was a little bit.
Good for him. Well, listen, we've been trying to get this story on for ages, and I love this story. I think it's such a nice thing. And, what a lovely wife and family you've got, Gary, to do something like that.
Yeah, it was very special. It was a complete surprise that Susie had gone to all that trouble. I mean, she'd been planning this since August last year, because these things don't happen quickly.
No.
And then for all the family to be there as well was just a perfect surprise.
Well, you're very lucky to have a wife like that, Gary, and enjoy that bench for many years to come, won't you?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What a nice story. I like stories like that. I really do. And I'm really pleased we got to speak to Gary, because we've been kicking this story around for ages. And I do like benches. I'm a big fan. I know, doesn't it sound sad? But benches in parks always will have a little read of the inscription. Here's something. I got a bench for my wife for her birthday, right? It's in Highgate Woods in North London, right? And it takes ages to sort out. And you have to kind of go around, and there weren't many benches left, and I found a really nice bench overlooking the cricket thing. But then you have to write the little plaque, the inscription. It's so hard to write it for someone who's alive, right? And I can't remember what it says. I've got a picture of it somewhere. It says something like, to a wonderful wife and a loving mother, we will always love you, that kind of thing. And it's got me and the boys' names, right? And a friend of mine was at the bench, and there was a couple sat on the bench, and she overheard them say, "Oh, isn't it sad? Oh, she was a mum as well." They thought she was dead. There's no way of writing those things for someone who's alive, and making it sound like they're alive. But we did the same thing. It was her birthday. I think it was a birthday present. And the boys and I took her out for a picnic, and we went and sat by this bench, and we were having a picnic on the bench and near the bench. And then the eldest went, Mum, have a look at the bench. And it was, there was a plaque on and stuff. And
oh, that's really sweet.
No, what a nice thing to do. I'm a big fan of benches. I'm not such a big fan of piers.
Why don't you like a pier?
Well, quite often you get people by a board on a pier, don't they? What do they call it? A plank? A plank on a pier. Do you know what I mean? What do you call it?
A bit of decking sort of thing.
Bit of decking on a pier. Mm-hmm. Because piers are in great danger of, being swept away by the sea. Who cares about a pier? And you'll look down and say, this bit of decking belongs to Margaret Hodgson. She used to love, walking on a pier.
I know her.
Really?
Yeah.
Or this plank is owned by Steve Rowntree. He used to love, standing on this bit.
I know him as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of the Globe Theatre. I've got a brick.
A brick?
Yeah.
How many bricks
in the new Globe, Shakespeare's Globe?
Does it have your name on it?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
Have you not been to see it?
How am I going to find a brick?
Oh! Do they not give you a map?
Well, my parents got it. I don't know what.
There are some nice things.
Sort of certificate.
There are some nice things to get. So a bench, yes. A seat in a theatre. Oh yeah. I'd love a seat in a theatre.
Does that mean you get first dibs on it every time?
No.
Oh.
But you can. Yeah, you can turn up and say, "Oi, out." I don't care if she's in a wheelchair.
Embarrassing, but this is my name.
The planks on piers are no good. I tell you something that is rubbish. Don't ever buy me a star.
Really?
Yeah. We are the... Yeah, cancel that order. We are the Star Space Academy Council, and we are selling you this star. It'll be yours forever for only $99.99. Prove it. Who are you? You're not God. You don't have the right to sell me a star.
Show me the flag on it.
Take me to the star. Get me the star. Let me touch the star. Otherwise, touch that. James has called in for a little bit of fun. Great story in the paper about a Turkish trucker who was caught watching a movie whilst driving along the motorway. No one was killed. We're asking, what films could this trucker have been watching? James, what have you got for us, mate?
I was kind of thinking he might have been watching Maximum Overdrive. I don't know if you've seen that before, but you've got to have done it. It's a classic.
A Maximum Overdrive?
Yeah, Emilio Estevez in the 80s.
Oh, yes!
Where the trucks take over and they're taken over by aliens.
I've never seen this film, but it does sound awesome. Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, you've got to watch it now.
Is Emilio Estevez still alive?
He is, yes.
Why is his film career not... why isn't his film... Why isn't he one of the biggest... He was great, Emilio Estevez.
He was fantastic back in the day, in the 80s. I think he was very popular.
He was a really strong actor, because he's Charlie Sheen's brother, isn't he?
No?
Yes, he is.
He is?
Is he really?
Yeah, Emilio Estevez.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I know. Emilio Estevez. You're right, Kath?
Yep.
Emilio Estevez is Charlie Sheen's brother.
Why have they got different names? Different dads?
Different mums, innit?
Different mums, isn't it? James, excellent suggestion. Thank you very much indeed. Ava with his suggestion there. If you want to give us a call for movies that are He's Turkish. He's driving a truck. He's on the motorway. He's watching a movie. What could he have watched? I've gone for Convoy. Turking 9 to 5.
Is this really happening?
Going back to Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
Yeah,
They'd
it's
have
really
the same
happening.
surname, though, if they had the same dad.
Not necessarily.
What if they're not married? What if one son didn't want to live off his dad?
Oh.
But what if both did? And do?
They don't know. Do they?
Charlie Sheen, give us a call, 08459 455 555.
Best not. Emilio?
Motorway Madness. Is that a film? The Cannonball Run. Yeah, I love that.
Yours.
084. This is a bit of fun. 08459. You can text them in as well. 81. You know how to get in touch.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Stoke Poges, Farthing Green Lane is closed between Church Lane and Wexham Street after an accident. On the speed sensors in Wendover, the A413 as you head towards Aylesbury, very slow going as you pass the station. At the Black Cat roundabout, all approaches looking very congested at the moment. And also on the M25, anti-clockwise, things still struggling between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 16 for the M40. On public transport...
Oh! I'm so sorry,
What's
Alice.
happened?
Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine. Public transport, Southern and London Overground. Trains not running at the moment between Clapham Junction and Wembley Central because of overhead wire problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Smokey and the Bandit 1 and indeed 2. He could have been watching that. A little bit of fun this morning. We're just playing around, doing something a little bit crazy, a bit dangerous. Trucking films that could be watched whilst you're driving a truck. Don't actually watch them. That's illegal.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: mother's fears after son joins terrorist group, another rise in house prices, and drivers failing to move over for ambulances.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. In April, a national campaign was launched urging women to report male relatives planning to go abroad to commit terrorism. Zafar Khan chairs Luton Council of Faiths.
This particular mother may be much more articulate than perhaps most average Muslim mothers, but I think the question is how empowered and how informed and how articulate people are in order to ensure that that they are able to perhaps influence movements of their children.
House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May, according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide. It's the fastest rise since 2007, but the Society's chief economist, Robert Gardner, says there are signs of a slowdown apart from in the capital.
Certainly when you look at the level of activity, there's nothing to suggest that things are, overheating in that sense. It's different if you look at price growth in certain parts of the country, in particular London, clearly, where house prices are rising much quicker than the national average.
Police say a man stabbed in a mass brawl in Dunstable in the early hours of Saturday morning was extremely lucky. The 24-year-old needed surgery, but the weapon used did not cause serious injury. The fight involved 30 to 40 people in Eleanor's Cross at about 1:45am. Bedfordshire Police are urging anyone involved to come forward with information. £1.5 million is to be spent on a new car park at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital. Work is due to begin next Monday. The two-storey building should be finished by September. Paramedics in this region are warning that patients' lives could be put at risk because of bad driving. Mobile phone use, blaring music and a general lack of awareness is being blamed. As ambulance staff say, despite the sirens and flashing lights, many drivers just don't get out of the way. Dean Jay is a paramedic with the East of England service.
Generally, every run we see a bad example or a few bad examples, but obviously during rush hour, when people have to be at a place at a given time, that tends to be the worst examples.
A play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds and based on the real-life experiences of victims. The play also tackles online grooming. Sean McGrath is the creator and director.
It's about showing the sort of the manipulation that she goes through and how complex that manipulation is to end up with her looking as if she has given consent to this thing, whereas in real fact she hasn't.
In sport, Luton are set to sign Welling striker Ross Lafayette, according to his club, and Stevenage have transfer-listed striker Lucas Akins. The 25-year-old has been at the Lamex Stadium for 2 seasons. The weather, sunny intervals, but with scattered showers, which could be heavy and thundery. A maximum temperature 18 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
People wander and you'll see all us characters about from time to time.
And all this week we're featuring Stony Stratford.
It's got that feel of a real community. It's not an estate, so it's got kind of the history.
It's all about where you live.
Been here 25 years. Can't see why I would want to move.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh boy, you really are jumping in with your eyes wide open into this movies. Here's the setup, okay? It's a Turkish truck driver driving up the motorway watching a movie. What films could it have been? Not literally what films could it have been. That will be almost impossible to guess. What fun films could it have been? No one was injured, don't worry. Let's.
Uncle Truck.
No, they've got to be real films. I don't want pun titles, for goodness sakes, all right? Go away and think again, yes? Puns. Kath?
Really? We're doing this?
Yeah?
I don't know, Driving Miss Daisy or something.
Yeah, she's in. Getting some great suggestions from you guys, the listener, and let's be honest, that's what it's all about. I've got some fantastic listeners. We'll do those in a bit. Coming up, though, slightly more serious things. Mum calls for her extremist son to be captured before he kills or is killed. Well, and lots of other bits and pieces. It's a busy show. If you want to give me a call, 08459 455 555.
across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Don't approve of bad language. Don't approve of bad language, Catherine.
No.
No.
Why?
You've sent me a thing. You normally send me a message saying updated texts. You've said updated testes. I don't really approve.
Sorry, that was a typo.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
How do you spell texties?
Texes.
Texes.
T-X-E-S.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There's a k.
Texes.
Right.
Yeah, thanks very much. He could have just been watching a trailer, says Ron.
Ron.
Yeah, Ron is great. We should get Ron in one day.
We should.
Liz in Hitchin says, this is brilliant. The Turkish driver could be watching Chicken Run.
Why?
Why?
Sorry?
It's
a good one. To read Turkish truckers whilst watching the movie, could he be listening to anything by Paul Anka?
Probably, yeah.
Well, that's a whole different phone-in. What music could he have been listening to? He's watching a film. Kay and Milton Keynes says, nothing to do with trucks, it's in the name The Jerk. Well, that's just rude. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. We'll get on to your Ava text a little bit later on. Yeah, that's right. If you've only just tuned in, we've learnt a new word today.
It's a ver.
A Buckinghamshire mother says she'd rather see her son in prison in Britain than dead fighting for Islamists abroad. Sally Evans from Woburn Green thought her son was studying Arabic in Egypt when she discovered he joined the terrorist group Al-Shabaab in Somalia. When she found that out, she called the authorities. Professor Anthony Glees is director of the Centre for Security and Intelligence Studies at the University of Buckingham. Joins you on the line now. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning.
What do you think about what Mrs. Evans has done? She's gone to the police, she's gone to the press. It must have been a big thing for her.
It must have been a big thing for her. It's exemplary behaviour, and people should take careful note of what she's done. Sally Evans is a very brave woman, but she's also acting as every mother of every British jihadist should act. There's an epidemic in this country of young British Muslims wanting to do jihad. I don't mean to be funny at all, but it's become for some a kind of gap year enterprise. You go abroad to fight jihad. Mrs. Evans's son, who of course changed his name to Abu Hakim, went off to Somalia, and one of 50 or so people we know who's gone to Somalia. But at least 200 and probably 400 people from the UK have actually gone to do jihad in Syria. So we can see we're talking here about almost 1,000 people who are involved in this kind of thing. And yes, unless their mums and dads notify the police, these people will either end up in jail because it's a criminal offence in the UK to take part in terrorist operations, or end up killed.
There was a campaign launched in April, wasn't there, Anthony, urging women to report male relatives that were planning to go abroad to become terrorists. Do we think that's working?
Well, I'm not in a position to say whether it is working or not as far as members of the Muslim community are concerned. Of course, Sally Evans was not a Muslim. Her son converted to Islam. And what I felt when the police talked about getting Muslim mums to go to and report to them was that it was unlikely to happen given the way in which Muslim families operate. That is to say that the women are very much, or frequently, in the thrall of the men, and it's the men who take the decisions. But we shouldn't imagine that the only people who are Muslims are people who come from a kind of Asian, South Asian, East Asian cultural background. And where you have converts or reverts, as the Muslims call them, you will have perfectly ordinary British mums and dads, as in the case of Sally Evans. And there, clearly, this is working. And after all, the alternatives, a prison sentence, possibly not a very long prison sentence, or death in some foreign field, which is preferable.
What are these young people... I'm assuming it's primarily young people. What are they looking for? What are they? How do they go from being, in inverted commas, normal to wanting to go off to Syria and Sudan and all these places and get involved in a holy war?
Well, they're told to do so. They're brainwashed. And in this particular case, it was, we're told, a small Islamic centre in Woburn Green, which is where this chappie learnt how good it would be to go off on jihad. His mother said he got depressed after he broke up with his girlfriend. He turned to Islam. He then went to this radical centre and came into contact with people who seemed to have been in contact with others who had already taken part in terrorist offences. This is absolutely normal. If we were having this conversation 10 years ago, much of this would be speculation and a mystery. Today, we know so much more about the process of radicalization. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen by people looking at a computer screen. They've got to be brainwashed. They've got to meet people. What's more, we know there are groups out there like the Islamic Education and Research Association who last year got almost £1 million from an unnamed donor to allow radical and hate preachers to tour campuses and colleges, urging young British Muslims to do jihad. And it is a major security threat.
I guess that the thing is, if we live in a society that has free speech, and I know that there are kind of limitations on that, but if we assume we have free speech, we can't stop those people going on those tours and going to colleges and talking to people, can we, or should we?
Well, I believe we can. I believe that this has nothing to do with free speech and everything to do with incitement to kill. And as I said earlier, it is a crime to be involved in terrorist offences, whether in the UK or overseas. And I think people in this country have got to do something to stop education being used as a tool to brainwash young British people. And, you know, we're not only seeing it at campuses and colleges, Islamic centres, in our prisons. We're seeing it now, as the news from Birmingham reminds us all the time. We're seeing it in our schools as well. This is a deliberate policy by some to use education, whether it's free schools or, as in the case of Birmingham, so the taxpayer-funded schools, to get young, impressionable minds to listen to radical preachers and radical political leaders. These aren't people that go themselves necessarily, although some of them will have been, but they incite others to go. And it has got to be stopped.
Professor, thank you very much. Fascinating stuff. Professor Anthony Gleeson, Director of the Centre for Security and Intelligence Studies at the University of Buckingham.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We've been having a bit of fun this morning, and hope you've been enjoying the laughs and the giggles with us as well. Graham's on the line. Graham, you want to join us in a little giggle? What you got for us?
Good morning. You're asking about Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
Yes.
Martin Sheen was born Martin Estevez. He changed his name to Sheen. Charlie decided to stay with the Sheen name, but Emilio decided not to trade on the family success and went by his own way.
So when did Martin Estevez become Martin Sheen?
When he first started getting into acting.
Oh, I did.
He was told he needed a better name.
I did not know that. Do we know where Emilio is these days? Because I kind of miss him.
I don't know. I've not heard of him for a long time.
He made some good movies in the 80s, and then he made one, I think, where he was a bin man.
I don't remember that one.
No, he did. I can remember the picture of the VHS video cover. Graham, thank you very much for that. There's a little insight into the fickle world of Hollywood. Leslie's on the line. Morning, Leslie.
Good morning.
You up for a little bit of a giggle this morning?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's have it. Go on then. What you got, Leslie?
Road Games.
Sorry?
Have you ever seen the film Road Games?
Road Games?
Road Games with Stacey Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh.
He's not a truck driver, but he drives a truck.
Whoa! Leslie, you've blown my mind.
That's in the film.
He's not a truck driver, but he drives a truck.
He just happens to drive a truck.
Yeah.
And he's driving along, making comments about other people, on the road, and he realises he's caught onto a serial killer.
Oh, blimey. Well, you certainly wouldn't want Stacey Keach driving a truck. I think he was a little bit heavy-handed with the booze.
Oh, well, he's all right. He's sober in the film.
Good. Well, good for him. Leslie, excellent suggestion. Thank you. Robert's on the line. Robert, what giggles have you got for us this morning?
Yeah, the Turkish truck driver.
Yeah, go on.
I've been watching Eastern Promises. That's a gangster film, and I'm saying Eastern Promises because the old Turkish Delight advert was full of Eastern Promise.
Hey, yes! You lot are much faster than me this morning, Kath.
Yeah, good one.
What about Iron Van?
Glenn's... Not puns, Kelly, not puns.
Coronation Street?
No, Glenn's on the line. Glenn, you've got time to squeeze you in before the travel. Go on, make Alice giggle.
Well, I don't know, because I would have said... I only picked up this just briefly before I left Northampton.
Oh.
Drive to Mad Max.
Sorry?
Well, the film's Mad Max. If I was a driver, I'd be watching Mad Max. Have you not seen Mad Max?
They've got cars in them, haven't they?
Yes, and they've also got heavy goods vehicles.
They have.
That drive tankers of fuel.
It's a very bleak vision of the future, isn't it, the Mad Max films, Glenn?
Yes,
I think
good film, though.
Very, very good film, and I think it's certainly, we can all learn lessons from that we are going to end up with Tina Turner in a basque in the desert unless we are very, very careful. Kelly?
Shawshank Redemption?
No puns.
Forrest Gump?
That's a pun.
Star Wars The Empire Strikes Truck?
Right, that's just... Right, you are... No.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors at the Clophill roundabout, all approaches looking congested at the moment. Also in Kings Langley, the A41 is queuing from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off to the M25. The M25 itself, anti-clockwise, slow going between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40. On public transport, Southern have trains not running between Clapham Junction and Milton Keynes Central. Also, London Overground, trains not running between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush because of an overhead wire problem. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much indeed. Don't think we made Alice giggle there, but she is... she's quite miserable. Having met her for the last couple of weeks, I think we know she's not really a giggling type, is she? 8:17, it's Tuesday the 3rd of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May. That's according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide Building Society. And a play warning children about the risks of being sexually exploited is being shown in schools across Hertfordshire. The drama, called Chelsea's Choice, is aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Roberto Perroni.
Gardeners wanting to rid their spring flower beds of snails can ditch the beer traps and eggshells and instead develop a strong throwing arm instead.
Weekdays from 3.
I don't think there's any ethical dilemma about throwing them as opposed to killing them. It's clearly better to throw them.
Hertfordshire Police are warning drivers to take extra precautions with their vehicles following a rise in the number of cars stolen using specialised hacking equipment. 2/3 of teachers say poor writing has prevented them giving the marks a student truly deserves.
Roberto Perroni.
I do the animal stories. I also do the space stories, apparently.
Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Of course, and thank you to Carpet Martin for updating me on this. The film where Emilio Estevez played a bin man was, of course, Men at Work. And who else did it star? Charlie Estevez. Yeah? Are you thinking of ones, Kath?
What about The Silence of the Vans?
No, that is a pun.
Casablanca?
That's not even a pun.
Car.
On to something a little bit more significant, I think. All this week, we're commemorating the 100th anniversary of the First World War. In partnership with Imperial War Museums, the BBC has been looking at how local lives were affected in a project called World War I at Home. A month after the conflict started, HMS Pathfinder became the first... Oh, I haven't got the audio in for this. Could we find the audio, please, for this? I mean, if I'm doing the introduction, it's probably best that we play the audio that Tara Gungerfall has spent so much time creating and editing and putting together. By the way, Tara, thumbs up for all of your excellent work that you've done in this. A month after the conflict started, HMS Pathfinder became the first British ship to be sunk by a German U-boat. It was captured by Francis Martin Leake from Hertfordshire. It's an interesting name when you're talking about submarines. Leake. Tara Gungafol has been looking at what happened with the help of a letter that he wrote to his mother.
My dear Mamma, since my last to you, these blighters have caught us with a submarine, with very disastrous results, as you will have...
Francis Martin Leake was an Edwardian naval officer. He joined the Navy in the Victorian era. He rose to be a full captain early in the 20th century. His promotion is quick, so he's a very good professional officer. My name is Andrew Lambert. I'm the Lawton Professor of Naval History at King's College London.
Francis Martin Leake, who came from High Cross in Hertfordshire, was the captain of HMS Pathfinder. She was a small, light cruiser out on patrol off the east coast of Scotland, looking for German vessels, particularly submarines. But at 3:45 on the afternoon of the 5th of September 1914, one spotted her first.
I started a bolt to see what it was. The torpedo got us in our forward magazine and evidently sent this up, thereby killing everyone forward. Her upper deck was flush...
The bond between a captain and his crew will be a close one. He'd been in command of the ship for long enough to know the crew personally. It's a crew of about 300 men. He would have known them all. There are only 20-odd survivors.
I found one of the sailors with me had a broken leg. This prevented propelling our oars to where more wood was. So I swam away to a more plentiful supply and met a meat safe. I knocked the end out of this and was busy at the other end when I snuffed out for a time. On recovery, I found myself being well rubbed with rum in a bunk on TB28. Sorry to have inflicted so much self on you, but there's little else. Mail going, nurse coming, so must close up. Your affectionate son, M. Leake.
It's the letter of a man who's suffered quite a reverse, but is taking it on the chin and is certainly determined to come back and carry on.
He did, and was later awarded an Order of Distinguished Service for his part in the sinking of SMS Leopard in 1917, and he ended his naval career as a Vice-Admiral. He died in 1928 and is buried in Hertfordshire at St John's Parish Church in High Cross, close to his family home at Marshall's, which is now owned by Nicky Thompson.
I believe that this is possibly the link the house still has with Francis. Part of a shell casing taken from the SMS Baden. There's a plaque actually on it which goes on to say that it was surrendered together with the entire German High Seas Fleet. I think it says 21st of November 1918.
The naval shell in the back garden will have been brought to the house by Francis Martin Leake. He was the Chief of Staff of the Home Fleet at the time. So, having started the war literally in the drink, ends on top, and he brings something home with him when he leaves the sea, and he puts it in the back garden to remind him of what an adventurous and interesting war he's had, and that, of course, the Royal Navy won.
If you'd like to find out more about our local stories from World War I at home, then click on bbc.co.uk/WW1, the number one. You'll be able to see and hear how World War I changed life in beds, hearts and bucks, and find hundreds more stories from across the UK.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Great story in the... we're getting more and more of these stories, aren't we? About idiots driving like plums. Idiots driving like plums. We had a woman reading a book the other day on the M1. We had someone on Skype. We've all seen women doing the makeup and men having a shave, a dry shave. They're going to have a bowl of water on their lap, are they? That would be ridiculous. Well, this morning there's a story. Trucker drove watching telly. More motorway madness. A lorry driver was stopped after driving for at least 20 miles along a motorway while watching a film yesterday. Worried motorists called cops after spotting his HGV swaying across the road. Now, he's Turkish, he's driving along the M1, so it's kind of local. We don't know what the film was. What film do you think he was watching? John Porter has emailed in. I bet the Turkish truck driver was watching Joyride. Great film.
Never seen it.
I get the feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong, I am getting the feeling, Catherine, that you're not feeling involved, Because...
Well, no, I've distanced myself from this whole thing.
OK, that's honesty.
That's the feeling.
You've distanced yourself from this whole thing because you can't think of any.
Because it's lazy, cheap.
Because you can't
rubbish.
think of any film titles.
American Beauty.
I'm just saying things with car in.
I know.
You did this.
No,
Carface.
That's actually not bad.
Van's Labyrinth.
That's quite good. But
The
not
Elephant
puns.
Van.
I don't like puns.
The Elephant Van.
OK.
The Mighty Trucks one.
She's still going.
I know.
And I'm getting this on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
So this is a little... You just leave the
Lighten
fader
up.
open, and this is why you'll see it's getting to me a little bit. She's got another one. What was that one you just said? Mighty
Forrest
Trucks
Gump.
what?
Mighty Trucks 1.
1 and 2, she suggested.
Mighty Trucks 2.
Don't like... the van... What was the van one?
I've got loads. Van's Labyrinth.
Yeah, that was
You like
quite good, but I don't like puns.
Do you like the Elephant Van?
No, not so much. I think that's a little bit offensive. It was, he's disabled.
Lion Van. Lower Nation Street.
You've done those. Paul Biggleswade's on the line. Morning, Paul. Tell Grumpy Cath to lighten up. We're having a little bit of fun.
I think you should lighten up.
Sorry? Me?
I think Ian, you should lighten up.
What do you mean I'm having a bit of fun?
What's wrong with the elephant van? I thought that was very funny.
No, we're not doing puns. Puns is cheats. Puns is no funs.
Can I give you Speed 1 and 2?
Oh, yes, you can, sir. Yes, you can. You get a salute for that.
Have I struck radio gold?
You have struck. It's a bit of fun. I'm kind of thinking, Paul, that maybe we need to do something like this every morning.
Yeah, I think so.
Because what it is, it's like a little mind bender. It's bending your mind. It's just getting you those grey cells just working a little bit harder first thing in the morning than perhaps they would be normally.
A little bit of mental exercise.
A little bit of mental exercise. And by that, I don't mean running around in a tracksuit, waving a knife, stabbing dogs. I mean thinking.
Oh, my goodness.
What? That was quite a good image. Paul, anything... Hey, Paul, here we go. This is fun.
You're going to tax me now.
I'm going to tax you. I'm going to tax your brain, OK?
Oh, yeah.
So we just did a story from World War One. Bloke called Mr...
No!
Bloke called Mr. Leak, right? He works for the Navy, and he's called Mr. Leak. I was wondering if you could think of any other inappropriate names for certain jobs. Put you on the spot there, I know.
Mr. Torpedo.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be Navy-based. Could be anything. OK. Steve Don't Rise for a baker. And Martin Crash for a taxi driver. Names, better if they're real ones, inappropriate names for certain jobs. The opposite of what? Leak, Navy? What? What's that all about? Did somebody call a meeting? Guys? You'd think they'd get the CV and they'd say, he's not having any of that. No, but they didn't, and he turned out to be a hero. 08459 455 555. Leslie's on the line. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning, Ian.
What would you like to say, madam?
I know what movie that guy were watching.
What movie were he watching?
He was watching Convoy. Hello?
I said Convoy, Leslie.
Convoy.
Yeah, I said Convoy, Leslie.
Which I think Christopher Christopherson? Something like that.
Who?
Christopher. His name was Christopher something. I forgot his name. The film came out early 80s, I think, or late 70s.
What was his name again?
Christopher. I just cannot remember his name.
Christopher Lee?
No, not Christopher Lee.
Christopher
Lee's
Biggins?
an English guy.
Christopher Biggins?
No, Christopher. Someone out there may remember his name.
I got the Christopher. What was the surname? Lillycrap?
No. Someone will call in with his full name. I forgot his full name.
Leslie, thank you. You've done half the job. Well done. And finally, Jeff, what would you like to say?
Yeah, inappropriate name. My dentist was called Maxwell F.W. Twist and was known as Max Twist.
Because he twists the tooth to get it out?
Well, who knows, but I thought it was the most inappropriate name for a dentist. He was a pretty good man, though.
Fair play.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M southbound, slow going between junction 8 for Hitchin and 6 for Welwyn. Also on the speed sensors in Luton, the Airport Way is queuing as you head towards the Kidney Wood roundabout and head for the motorway. In Kings Langley, queues on the A41 from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off as you approach the M25. And on public transport, Southern have disruption between Clapham Junction and Milton Keynes Central. They're hoping lines will fully reopen around 9 o'clock. And also London Overground, severe delays between Willesden Junction and Shepherd's Bush. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice?
Yes.
Imagine if your dentist was called, I don't know what your dentist's name is, I don't need to know it, but imagine if your dentist was called Max Twist. How would that make you feel?
It would be ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
It would be so bonkers, Max Twist.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son who has joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May, according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide Building Society. And paramedics in this region are warning that patients' lives could be put at risk because of bad driving. Mobile phone use, blaring music and a general lack of awareness is being blamed.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Luton are set to sign Welling striker Ross Lafayette, according to his club. Welling say they're disappointed, claiming he'd agreed a new one-year deal to stay. 27-year-old Lafayette scored 16 conference goals for Welling last season, including one against Luton on Easter Saturday.
Lafayette trying to curl it into the back post and does curl it in. Really good finish. Really good finish from Ross Lafayette.
Stevenage have transfer-listed striker Lucas Akins. The 25-year-old has been at the Lamex Stadium for 2 seasons. Borough Chairman Phil Wallace says Akins wants to move despite being under contract. England midfielder Frank Lampard has confirmed he'll leave Chelsea this summer after 13 years at Stamford Bridge. Lampard has 16 offers to consider but won't make a decision until after the World Cup. Meanwhile, his England teammate Adam Lallana has told Southampton he wants to leave. Lallana has been linked with a move to Liverpool. England's cricketers play the 5th and deciding one-day international against Sri Lanka at Edgbaston today. The day-night match starts at 2 o'clock, weather permitting. Here's Pat Murphy.
The poor weather forecast suggests Edgbaston will again be bedeviled by rain for an international match. The club's having a bad run in recent years, but if England do win a shortened game, a series victory over a vastly more experienced Sri Lankan side shouldn't be sniffed at. The batting hasn't fired yet, not enough boundaries in the early part of the innings, and although the conditions have favoured bowlers and Lasith Malinga's a remarkable performer at the start and end of an innings, England's batsmen haven't done themselves justice yet as a unit. Jos Buttler can't be expected to play every time as sensationally as he did at Lord's on Saturday.
And Andy Murray is through to the quarter-finals of the French Open after beating Spain's Fernando Verdasco in straight sets. He'll play the Frenchman Gael Monfils in the last 8 tomorrow. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning.
Good morning. Yes.
Jonathan Vernon Smith has joined me in the studio. You've had a nice haircut.
I have.
I'm having a cheeky little haircut tomorrow.
Shall I tell you a funny story about my haircut? You got time?
Let's just ladies.
Yeah.
Have we got time for Jonathan's story about haircuts? Have we got plenty of calls coming in?
No, we've always got time to hear about Jonathan's
I know we're
if it's going to stop us from having any more rubbish puns, then
we are
yes.
very, very busy with people calling in with film titles that this Turkish trucker might have been watching while he was driving up the M1.
Yes.
Having a lot of fun. We're also getting some...
How can I help? Yep.
Yeah. We're also getting some emails on inappropriate job names. Can I read you one?
Yeah.
Iain has emailed in. My mum's doctor is called Dr. Payne.
Really, Dr. Payne?
Because that's what you want him to get rid of. Dr. Payne. 08459 455 555. I think we've got time for your story, Jonathan.
Well, I can only tell a little bit of it because some of it I can't tell.
Is it filthy?
But I was sitting in the barber's chair yesterday, and this chap came in. Yeah. He was a little bit peculiar.
Yeah, they are
in a nice way though, but a little bit peculiar. And he sat down and he asked for a number 1 all over. He was about 50, this chap, and he had a full head of hair.
Yeah.
And he said, can I have a number one, please? So the barber said, are you sure you want a number one? It's very short. He said, yeah, I really want a number one. So he had a number one all over. And he's sitting there, and he said to the chap, he said, I like the feel of that on my head. I like the feel of the trimmer. So the barber say, OK. Anyway, suddenly his head flops forward and he started snoring. He fell asleep in the barber's chair.
Really?
Yes. And I got the giggles.
Yeah, you would.
And my barber, who's called Ali, he got the giggles as well. This chap was asleep in the barber's chair.
I find getting my hair cut one of the most stressful things ever.
Really?
My shoulders tend to... 'cause you have to have conversation, you have to talk. I just want it over and done with. He fell asleep.
He was fast as... When I left, he was still asleep.
Could you not wake him up?
Well, they were trying to... Because when he got out there, you know when they get out the little trimmers, where they do all round the... You know, neaten off round the back of your neck and do all round your sideburns?
Yeah.
They're quite loud, those ones. So he got that out, and it was... And still this chap was fast asleep, and he was doing all round the back of his neck.
You gotta respect that. You're, I'm guessing if your barber's called Ali Barber, he's Turkish, is he?
He's from Kurdistan.
Oh, OK. Is it customary in the Kurdistan barbers to do the thing where they set fire to your ears? Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
They do what?
Have you? You've seen that, haven't you?
They've never done it to me.
No, well, they should.
I've heard tell of the singeing.
The Turkish barbers, they'll go, look, you want your hair done, sir. Your ears. You go, yeah, OK. And what they do is they get, they put like a little... I don't know exactly how they've done it.
That would be dangerous with some fellas, because you'd get a bushfire,
They put a little bit of, petrol, lighter fluid on your ear, and they kind of throw a match at it, and it goes... whoosh, and it burns all the hair off your ears. Honestly, this actually happens. 08459 455 555 if you've ever had it done. I'm tempted.
I've never had that done.
OK, just maybe you should consider it. Now, it's... a slow news day today, let's be honest, but you found you've got a good story.
Well, I hope we found a good story for you today from 9. Have you seen this in the papers today, this family? They're called the Prudham family.
OK.
They've been in the papers several times. They've just done an exclusive interview with Closer magazine.
OK, yep.
And the Prudham family, they're quite a large family, I'll level with you. A mother of 9 who lives on benefits has attracted criticism this week after photos emerged of her and her family playing on the beach in Menorca. Cheryl Prudham and her husband Rob, who are expecting another 2 children in September, they're reported to have spent £7,000 on this trip, and they've told journalists that they don't feel bad about using taxpayers' money. On her Facebook page this weekend, Cheryl wrote, "Still getting haters sending me abusive messages. Reality check. Keep getting told I should be ashamed. Well, I'm not."
Gosh.
A week ago, mother of 2, Deirdre Kelly from the Channel 4 programme Benefit Street was pictured downing drinks in Magaluf, despite being on long-term out-of-work benefit for depression. Well, from 9 this morning, I want your views. When you read stories like this, when you see... I mean, look at the size of the family.
That's 9.
They've got 9, and she's expecting twins.
Gosh.
Which will mean another £1,400, I gather, a year in child benefit for the extra 2 children she's now going to be getting. Well, do pictures of the Prudham family on holiday, do they make you want to limit child benefit? Do you think when you see these families that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger... They've got a 5-bedroom council house, this family. They've been given this 5-bedroom council house. They're getting all this benefit. The newspaper is suggesting that the benefit totals... the monthly income is £33,500 for this family.
The annual income?
Yes, annual income. Yes. Well, I want to hear from you today. Do pictures of the Prudham family on holiday make you want to limit child benefit? There are many people who, for a long time, have felt that our child benefit rules are encouraging some people to have children that, frankly, they can't afford.
Yes, some people do think that.
Do you agree with that? I'd like your views from 9 this morning on 08459 455 555.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
This is good. This is good, Catherine. Now, this is good. Judy will be there in a second, right? Carpet Martin on Twitter, he's prefaced this with, "This is genuinely true," which means it's probably genuinely true, OK? I went to see a downstairs doctor privately.
Oh.
I had the choice of 2 consultants.
No.
Sorry?
I don't believe this.
I believe this.
No.
What? Don't you believe this?
No, I think it's just his way of getting you to say something dodgy.
I think it's genuine. Mr. Bellringer or Mr. Ramwell?
Next text. Next tweet. I chose Mr. Ramwell.
Judy's in Leagrave. Morning, Judy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm having a giggle this morning, Judy. That's not a crime. If it's a crime, then shoot me.
No, I think it's good. Yes, my father, who's a doctor, actually worked with an anaesthetist.
Oh, yeah.
Called Mr. Reckless.
Oh no, really?
Absolutely true. I've met him.
Mr. Reckless?
Yes. Yes.
You would think that at some point he'd go, this name, people are entrusting their lives with me. I might change this to Mr. Jones or something.
Something like that would be better, yes.
Judy, excellent stuff. Thank you very much. Was he reckless at all?
Not to my knowledge. I'm glad he wasn't there when I was having my tonsils out there.
Yeah, blimey. Judy, thank you very much. I miss the good old... Lino's kind of got the idea, but we want real doctors, or real people's names. Hey, says Lino, what if your doctor was called Dr. I Will Kill You While You Sleep? That sort of thing. That's it, but real ones. Don't just make them up. Because that doesn't... Is that a little cheeky smile I see,
Hiya,
Kath?
Peter, it's
Kath's got a little cheeky smile going, hasn't she, Kels?
Yeah, I think she's enjoying it.
I think she's enjoying this bounce a little bit more.
What about Anchor Van?
Sorry?
Anchor Van?
No, this is the...
What to do about nothing?
I don't want puns.
Alan Cartridge and Alpha Carcar?
Alpha Carcar? Peter!
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Peter. What would you like to have a whinge about?
As I always speak up for the needy, really.
Yeah.
I would like to whinge about the fact that benefits claimants are forever being, if you like, battered. But we don't... If we have the same amount of programmes on companies that avoid tax...
Yeah.
Then perhaps there'd be some sort of balance.
Oh, you're calling it about the story that Jonathan was talking about, are you?
Yes, I did say that when I came on here originally.
Well, that's okay. I mean, will you be phoning in? What the thing is, I don't want to take Jonathan's trade.
No, I appreciate that.
I don't want to take pounds out of his back pocket. So
And how are you?
Sorry?
And how are you going? Are you happy with yourself?
Today?
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh, dear.
No, I'm really tired, and I'm just feeling a bit down, Peter, to be honest.
You joined the whingers, have you?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't whinge about it.
No.
But listen, I'm happy to talk about it, but would you consider phoning Jonathan Vernon Smith to talk about it?
Well, yes, I'm going out about 9:45, but it's by 5.
The first 45 minutes of the show is yours then, Peter.
Yeah, sure.
Can you, I don't know if you heard us, we're talking about this truck driver, Turkish truck driver, got caught watching a movie whilst driving up the M1, Peter, and I wondered if you could think of what movie it might have been.
No, that's in the lap of the gods, isn't it? I mean, especially as he's a foreign driver, you say?
He's a Turkish gentleman, yes.
Yeah, well, it won't have been an English movie, would it?
Well, no, I don't mean literally what movie was he watching. I'm trying to get you to exercise your brain power and maybe come up with a funny movie like Convoy or the Cannonball Run or Smokey and the Bandits.
I would have thought nowhere near those. It'd be something like Salome.
That, Peter, excellent suggestion. He could have been watching a series by Carla Motorway Lane. That's not a pun.
Police Academy. Supervan. Batman. Iron Van 3. Van of Steel.
No, but he could have been watching something starring Van Diesel.
Huh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
New email. Seriously,
I just don't think that Kath is really jumping on board with this completely.
Can I not...
She needs to be paying a bit more attention. This is fun. We've had more
do you need a new
calls
cleaner? I
this
could do
week,
that.
today,
Just take me
than we've
off
had in the entire last month of shows.
Programme.
More
You
texts,
told me 6 weeks.
more input.
It's been 6 months.
Bit of band.
Now we're talking about...
They like fun games that kind of get their
what
brains
they may or may not have watched.
working. They like to feel
I
they're
don't know
being
what he was
creative.
watching. He shouldn't have been watching anything. Love.
I like the Mighty Truck. I'm not a fan of the
Kiss.
I'm not a fan of the puns. That's
What about the
thing.
Mighty Trucks 2?
Kath?
Jurassic Truck.
Sorry? I was miles away.
Okay, we're doing a show.
Miles away, though. She's kind of joining in.
Oh, yeah, if that's a film, if we can cross-reference that with a film, then you're in.
Green Mile?
Boom! Kelly's got one that's not a pun!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Newport Pagnell on the speed sensors, the A422 and the A509, both very heavy as you head towards the M1 junction 14. The A1M southbound, very slow between junction 8 for Hitchin and 6 for Welwyn. In Kings Langley, we've still got queues on the A41 from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off towards the M25. And the M25 itself, anti-clockwise, slow going between junction 18 for Chorleywood and 16 for the M40. On public transport, First Capital Connect have services via City Thameslink, may be delayed by up to 15 minutes. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much. I was yawning during that travel. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. I had a bad night's sleep. 8:45. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Buckinghamshire mother says she's been informing police about her son, who's joined a terrorist group in Somalia. Sally Evans from Woburn Green says she's afraid 24-year-old Thomas will become a suicide bomber. House prices rose by over 11% in the 12 months to May. That's according to figures released this morning by the Nationwide Building Society. And paramedics in this region are warning that patients' lives could be put at risk because of bad driving. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Kate? Kate? Kate!
Hello.
Oh, we hadn't flicked your switch. I do apologise.
That's okay.
Your switch is well and truly flicked. Away you go.
Good morning. It is a rather cloudy start to the day. We've got some outbreaks of rain currently making their way through parts of Buckinghamshire, West Hertfordshire and up towards Bedfordshire as well. So just a band of showers, not amounting to too much, and it should pass fairly quickly. Behind it, scattered showers, brighter spells, some sunny intervals as well, and that in turn this afternoon could spark one or two potentially quite sharp showers. Still feeling warm though, maximum temperature getting up to around 19 Celsius. Overnight tonight, eventually the showers die out. We'll have a brief period of dry weather before it's replaced by thicker cloud and the next onset of rain. Some more persistent rain with some heavy bursts mixed in, moving our way through the early hours of tomorrow morning. Minimum temperature 11 Celsius, 52 degrees in Fahrenheit. As we head into Wednesday, I'm afraid that rain is here to stay, at least for tomorrow. A cloudy, wet and chilly day. It's going to feel a lot cooler than it has done of late. The maximum temperature for Wednesday struggling up to 16 Celsius, 61 degrees in Fahrenheit. And that's your forecast.
Every weekday morning from 9.
Good morning, welcome to the JVS show.
Your local stories.
Have you had to rebuild your life after being a victim of crime? Do you think it's inhumane to keep people in prison for life? Do you think that immigration needs to stop?
Your local life.
Why do 70% of this country feel immigration is wrong?
We've actually got an open doors policy.
I am just so angry listening to some of them people.
What the government will do, they'll start introducing American-type sentencing, like 200 years in prison.
The JVS show.
British people are not xenophobic.
Weekday mornings from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
We have been sent a link, and Mr. Ramwell, Dr. Ramwell, is actually the name of a downstairs doctor.
As is Mr. Bellringer. And very good they look too.
I'm sure they're excellent. In the 80s, says Andy, there was a policeman at Hertford Station whose name was PC Bacon.
Don't get that.
Phil in Hemel says there is a dentist in Aylesbury called Mr. Chin. That's near your teeth. Dave in Sundon Park says... These are names that, well, they're supposed to be names. Come on, this is funny. They're supposed to be inappropriate job names. Iain, the actual name of the guy in charge of maintenance of canal locks in the Three Counties. Come on, leaking.
It's true.
Leaking.
We've had him on before.
I used to go to school with a, and I've got to be careful how I phrase this, okay, but this is absolutely true. Primary school, very strong, devout Christian family. and the daughter was called Fiona King. I used to play cello with her. She was called Fiona King. Her brother was called Wayne.
No.
I swear to you that's true.
Why would you do that?
Incredible, isn't it?
I think that at certain points the registrar should intervene.
My daughter's doctor is called Mr. McClueless, says Annie.
You don't want that.
Airline pilot, Captain Mark Hazard. My friend is Dr. Careless. And then you've just repeated the text there. So
they were very funny.
I had the voice going up because I thought there was more coming, and I should have been going down.
There is more. Mike from Bedford had to see a urinary doctor. His name was...
Dr. Wee Wee?
No, Dr. Waterfall.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow.
It's such a plum. Hey, there's a story. This is what I meant to talk about. I knew there was something serious I meant to talk about.
Hang on. We've had an email from management, a message from management.
Saying, keep this up, we love it. Go on. Is it the boy boss or the lady boss?
Boy boss.
Oh, OK.
Former Archbishop of Manila, Cardinal Sin.
Hey! There you go, you see.
Former head teacher, Mr. Meany. Police press officer, Des Lawless. You're supposed to be the boss!
Don't... Whoa!
Oh.
Would you shout at him in his face like that?
I think I might.
Really? You do that?
I think I might today.
I don't think you would.
I will.
I did actually have a serious point I meant to talk about from 6. A serious phone-in.
Oh. Now you say.
Well, I was just reminded by Simon Oxley doing the news at past. The emergency services... This is genuinely serious. If you want to call on it, you can. The emergency services have come out and said that less people are moving out of the way when they're blue lighting them. And I know why.
Music.
Why?
Sorry?
Music. They've got their music too loud.
No.
Why?
Because if you cross traffic lights when they're at red to let an emergency vehicle go past, you get flash, you get a ticket.
That's not the reason.
Yeah, it's totally the reason.
Also, some people pull over too early and it causes more of a
you've got to time you're pulling over. That's true. That is true. I'll give you that. Fair point. Well made. Good. Catherine.
Thank you.
Hazard warning lights on. Gently move to the side of the road.
No, because I don't.
No one does it apart from me.
No, OK. I indicate and I pull over, but people will not pull away. 08459 455 555. Call me now. I'm right on this. People will not pull away, and I've done it. If it's an ambulance, I'm more likely to. But for the others, I'm reluctant to go through a red traffic light because I don't want to get a ticket. Fact.
Do you know what I have seen?
Go on.
People hopping behind them and so they can speed through the
going
traffic.
through the slipstream. Yeah, I don't like that. I do not like people who use the brake in the traffic for the emergency vehicle to get ahead of me. No. We return back to our natural positions.
This is
That's
Britain,
just the way
everyone.
it is. Yeah, for goodness sake. Not Turkey.
Or anywhere else.
For that matter. But it's definitely not Turkey. I can guarantee that. I aver it's not Turkey. Did that person want to come on?
Complaint?
It was a funny name.
Yeah.
But the person recently died. So we don't really want to say it.
Well, I mean, it's what they would have wanted.
No.
The surname also contains a swear.
Well, come on, guys. If the surname's got a swear in and the person's dead, then we're not hurting anybody.
What if the person's family's listening?
It's unlikely. I've seen the figures.
Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Truck.
But it's true, though. Catherine, would you go... Right, so there's a... OK, let's start in order. There's an ambulance behind you. You're at some traffic lights. The lights are red. You know there's a camera up there. You know if you go through, you're going to get a ticket. Would you do it?
I would move over as much as I could. I wouldn't cross the light.
Ha! You see what I'm saying? My point? Exactly.
But that's a really complicated example and very rarely happens.
No, it doesn't very rarely happen. It doesn't. If you ever drive in a little place I like to call London, it happens all the flipping time.
That's why I don't drive in London.
It happens all the time. Honestly, people are reluctant to go through, so you wouldn't
Can't you just appeal the ticket, though?
No.
Because you went in that box and it wasn't out of choice.
You can't. No, you can't. You can appeal it. You'll probably lose because there have been cases. There have been examples of this where people have gone to court with the photographic evidence, sometimes even video evidence. That's the society we live in today, and they have still got to pay the fine.
No,
why?
I just think people don't stop. Full stop.
No, they do.
They don't know what to do.
No, they do.
Don't stop.
I always see people pull off when an ambulance goes past. Some people pull off too early. Kelly's right. You've got to time.
You've got to let everyone know you're about to do that. I think that's the key.
I do sometimes wish that this is a message to you drivers. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a way of letting other drivers and pedestrians knowing which way you were going to turn?
Yeah.
Oh, there is, the indicators. Yeah.
People just don't use them, do they? The indicators.
But you've got to time this, and this is a serious point. You've got to time your pull off to perfection when you're in the car, and then you pull back in.
Don't spring that stuff on people.
No way.
Just gently.
08459.
But people don't do it, do they? They don't do it at all.
08459 455 555.
5 minutes.
To Phil.
Fans Labyrinth.
Stop it.
Kelly, no, I think we've exhausted the Turkish gentleman as much as possible.
I really liked Coronation Street.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't make sense.
It's not a film, but who's to say he was watching a film and not a box set? Or a soap? Or a trailer?
Ken says, if you don't get out of the way of police cars after 2 local cases of drivers ticketed... Oh, no, I don't get out of the way of police cars after 2 local cases of drivers ticketed for speeding up a little over 30 to get out of the way faster on a narrow road. Ken in Redbourne. And Julie says, emergency vehicle passage. They should do what rule in the USA. Soon as you're aware and see others, pull over immediately, traffic on both sides of the street, unless it's a divided highway.
I agree.
I thought that was the rule.
If they made it clearer, and if you were fully protected by the law, then boom, I'd be through those red lights like nobody's business. I really would. But it's not, and you get in trouble. Howard's on the line. Morning, Howard.
Morning, young man.
What would you like to say, boss?
Right, this Turkish driver,
yes,
the film he might have been watching.
Go on.
Have you heard of the film Midnight Express?
Oh, yes, I have heard of that. Well, let's hope none of us ever end up in a Midnight Express scenario, Howard.
You know that, mate.
Would you pull through a red light if there was an ambulance behind you?
Yes, I would.
Even if there was a chance you might get a ticket?
Yes.
OK, fire engine?
Yes.
Police car? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Why the hesitation for the police?
I think mainly the police aren't really going to be life-saving, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense. Howard, I'm going to move on, just 'cause we're running out of time and the phones have gone mental all of a sudden. I appreciate your input. Tony's in Luton. Morning, Tony.
OK, thank you. Bye.
Hello? No, we start the conversation with hello.
Hello?
Yeah, Tony?
Yes?
Can I help you?
Yeah, no, I was just about the ticket. Yeah, because I was fined for speeding up for an ambulance, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was sent a photograph and all that. The bottom of Crawley Green Road, you know where the roadworks are?
I do know it very well, yes.
And it's got behind me. I speeded it up to get out of the way. There was nowhere to go, and I got a £90. Well, I've got a...
And did you get points as well?
Well, I'd done the course.
Oh, OK.
£90.
So did you appeal it, Tony? Did you go back going, look, there was an ambulance coming?
Yeah, I told them, and they said I sent a photograph, the evidence and the letter, and they rejected it. I was fined, or as I say, paid £90. And
do you think that might make you reluctant to do that in the future?
Never do it again. Just go by the rules. That's what they're playing by, so I'll do the same.
It's sad, isn't it? Because...
It is, yeah.
You know, I always kind of feel a little bit of civic duty and respect when I'm pulling out of the way for an ambulance or a fire engine, but if you're going to get points or a fine, that doesn't seem fair.
Well, I had no choice. I was in the roadworks and there was nowhere to go, and I thought the best thing to do was to speed up to let the ambulance through, but they didn't see it that way. They just rejected it, and... it cost me, so I just hope the person that done it rejected. I hope they're not in an ambulance the next time.
Yeah, it sounds like a threat. I'm sure it's not. Thank you very much for that. Sorry, I meant to be talking about that since about 6:30, Kath. Sorry. I heard that on the way in on 5 Live. I thought, that would be a good little talkie.
Ian.
Huh? We had a giggle, though, didn't we?
Well,
Come on. We had a giggle. Kels, go on, Kels.
Yeah, I had a giggle.
You had a giggle? Give us one more.
Trucks of the Future.
Parts 1, 2 and 3. High five, Kels.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors in Bedford, the Branston Way is heavy as you head towards the centre of town from the A421. A1M southbound still looking really slow between junction 8 for Hitchin and 6 for Welwyn. In Kings Langley, the A41 queuing from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off to the M25, and the M25 itself anti-clockwise slow between junction 18 for Chorleywood and 16 for the M40. On public transport, Southern have delays of up to 20 minutes between Clapham Junction and Milton Keynes Central. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much. Tomorrow, well, imagine what your life would be like if you wore the same clothes as your colleagues and us. Well, it could happen. If you're wearing black shoes, blue jeans, a pink top and a green coat. We'll see you tomorrow.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. I can hardly say my own name today. Never mind, it's Tuesday. And coming up on today's Big Phone-In, I'm